Well, perform all your dice rituals and whatever else you need to get going. I'm gonna try and recap our last game and get us going here. Zinnia is gonna be joining us a little bit late, I think, and possibly via phone. It might be a rough one for them tonight. We'll get through it. So last time, you folks found out were invited to Denova Castle, found out that Blair holds a position of nobility in Denova, were introduced to various people in the castle. Only Blair had an audience with King Roland. Everybody else principally spoke to caretaker Larice, who is basically like a master of ceremonies type kind of thing, and runs the house and so on, and kind of saw to most of your needs. And then you also had a conversation with Preserver Ashara, where you learned a pretty good deal about the nature of magic in this world, how it's very much a system of opposites and opposing forces and so on. And in Preserver Ashara's attempt to identify artifact, the compass that Cassandra is holding on to, they were unable to specifically describe what it is or what it does, but postulated that it may be an artifact that uses something called soul magic, which most spells in our world use mana. However, the soul magic typically has a much more sinister cost to it, and it's not always apparent what that cost is or will be. And there aren't really any known practitioners of soul magic, because usually the costs are so incredibly high that experimenting with the magic is extremely dangerous, and most folks who tamper with it are relatively short-lived. So, having figured out a little bit of information, you folks did some shopping, got some new threads for Zinnia, who was wearing tremendously oversized clothing and now has something that fits a lot better. Let's see, I think you folks met a blacksmith, and Levine got their armor fixed up and polished a little bit. Did some general clothes shopping. You also looked at doing some enchanting and met the flirtatious enchanter Jean-Philippe, which I'm thankful that most of you didn't hate immediately. And then started turning your attention towards the commune of Radiance a little bit, and trying to gather some intelligence as to what exactly is going on there. It sounded to many of your characters like it's something that is a little too good to be true, and so you talked to a worker from the wharf, which Levine went basically like shot for shot with, trying to get some information. And then you also talked to someone who was an ex-commune of Radiance member, and got maybe a little bit of information, but it's all very shaky. And so let's see. That mostly rounded out your night, and folks were just about ready to go to sleep. And if you want to, we can start it the next day, or if there are any conversations you or your characters want to have before having gone to sleep, we can start there. But I leave it to you folks to decide what comes next.
I think Levine will probably ruminate a bit about telling the group until next morning.
Yeah, Cassandra, given the whole conversation from she went to bed. I don't think she talked to anybody before she did.
All right. I think it's safe to start it the next morning then. So.
I can't recall for this day. Had I worked on had I put in some project time?
Yeah, so we're generally assuming that when a day passes, unless you are completely without access to tools or resources, that you are going to make some progress on it. The progress seems to be outlined as like an hour of your time in a day, which, seems like something that you should be able to manage most of the time. So I think you're down to 1 day left, or maybe have completed the first part of your project.
Yep, I'm 1 day left.
1 day left. Perfect. All right, and I've got some clocks to manage here. So the Alonian expansion, which expansion is that? Me, not you. Has gone up a tick, and Desdemona's recovery is continuing. Oh, yep, the commune is growing as well. And that's pretty much it for now. Alright. Next morning, what do you folks have going on?
I think the next morning, Cassandra's going to get up and find Edgar. And then once she talks to Edgar, she'll probably talk to both Blair and Levine and Zinnia.
And yeah, Levine will probably after that then discuss what she was kind of thinking about that morning with the whole history of Armorica, so.
Alrighty then. Well, let's start out then with Cassandra having found Edgar and then meeting up with the group in a bit.
Okay. So, I don't know, like, is there something, is Edgar in his room? Is he, like, at breakfast? Is it like
He's probably at breakfast. He's not, like, locked up anywhere. If anything, he might have fallen asleep, right, like, working away at his desk. It's like face first down on his tools.
So would I have to go and find you and wake you up is the question.
Yeah, he probably needs to be woken up by now.
Okay, yeah, so I would, I'll go find Edgar and then wake him up and make sure his tools aren't stabbing him in awkward places.
He looks up and see, like, one of the wrenches stuck to his face for a second. Cassandra, hey!
So, do you remember how we talked about how the compass has a soul in it?
It's hard to forget.
Yeah. Do you, so... I don't know how much you know about, like, why this is all important to me, because I don't think I've talked about it too much, but... So... When I was younger, I wanted to be a sky captain. We'll just, like, leave it at that. I saw how cool they were, and then I went off to the academy, and that's where I met Tristan and his sister. And they became very important to me. Probably... like more than I realized. And then all of a sudden Tristan died one day. Oh, no. And no one really would tell me anything about it or tell me why he died or what really happened. I was only told very vague information, which to this day feels suspicious. But the thing is that I thought, since the compass has a soul in it, I could see if I could talk to it.
Well, kind of funny that you should mention that, because he like moves stuff around on his desk, goes through, finds one of his notebooks. He flips through and he shows you this drawing that he had made. Like I was actually thinking, like maybe it would be possible to talk. Like, I don't know. I don't want to get your hopes up.
Well, that's the thing, is it responded.
It responded to you?
Yeah. I asked, are you there? And then it didn't say anything. It just vibrated.
Oh my goodness! This validates everything I was thinking. He starts. He's scrambling away, just absolutely drawing everything. He's like, that's exactly what I was thinking. And maybe if we can have this, place it upon some sort of device that could resonate. Use maybe like a Magitech crystal or something that would resonate with the soul energy within it, and then maybe we could translate those vibrations into sound, and then send that vibration right back into it.
I think that's a great idea. Cassandra's just like mentally thinking, I knew this was a good idea to talk to Edgar. I was smart about this.
I'm so glad that you validated my theory. And truth be told, behind the screen, I had literally taken Sinus aside that one time, and I told him, like, I want to work on something to maybe be able to communicate with the thing inside the compass.
That is funny that both you and I were thinking the same thing, just in different ways. I will say though, Cassandra, in your excitement, is like, hold on, just 1 minute, Edgar. We can definitely experiment on it. The problem is, and then she like takes the locket or the compass and like lifts it away from her body, and just lets it immediately get like almost like violently like smacked back against her chest. It doesn't seem to want to leave currently though.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. He's gonna...
Maybe we can convince it to. We don't like it. We have some semblance that it will respond.
He's gonna like raise his hand and kind of reach forward and he's like,
Yeah.
"May I?"
Yeah, of course.
So he's gonna try to pull the compass away. I assume
Don't know what happens in that regard. I'm sure it lifts off, but
so the compass is you're able to move it a certain distance away, but if you try to wrap your fingers around it or take possession of it, anything more than just a regular movement, it seems to suddenly have this opposing force. Like it becomes an immovable object almost. It's not even that it has a ton of weight, it's just it won't go. Right?
Yeah, it's like being like a very strong magnet, just holding it in place.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm like, this is so interesting. I like pass a hand behind it. I'm like, I don't feel anything. Don't feel the force. It's just purely in here. I'll check like
it's
is the
magic.
arrow. If I just place it on my hand, like keep it around her neck, but I'm just like putting it flat on my hand. Does the arrow like does it point towards Cassandra, or does it point elsewhere? And if I adjust the direction, does that change at all? Or
It doesn't seem to. Currently, it is pointing north, and it points north as normal. And your attempts to manipulate it seems to function as a normal compass under that circumstance.
wow, this is okay. And even you can't change that.
No,
Okay, that would
yeah.
change my designs then. I can't. If we can't place it down on a table, I'm gonna.
I can like
have to
lean
rechange
over, right? I
all
could just
my
like
designs.
sort of, like dangle off my neck, maybe.
Well, yeah,
Try
but
to
then it would
fit
hurt your
towards-
back. You can't hurt your
Well,
back having a
Levine
conversation.
can hold me. Levine
Yeah. I suppose Levine
Cassandra's a
could
little
hold you
hysterical.
while you're planking and then holding you on top of this device. But let's see if I can redesign this. If I can redesign this first.
Why are we doing the playing challenge? I'm so confused. Go on though.
I do have a few projects that I'm currently working on, but I'm definitely going to keep this. I would definitely like to tackle this.
For sure.
With
I
you.
do. Yeah, I really appreciate it, Edgar. And like Cassandra, like reaches out and just like pats your head and like ruffles your hair. Doesn't really know what
Well,
she's
no,
doing.
I appreciate you. Thank you for sharing this with me. So
I do
Sky
think we,
Captain, huh? That's pretty
yeah.
impressive.
Well, yeah. I
What
was.
what is that?
Oh, I fly the flying ships.
Oh my goodness.
That's.
Oh wow. So if
I
we
went
had
to.
one, you could fly it.
Yeah, I could.
Oh,
Technically. I
yeah,
mean, I would
maybe.
need like a crew. You need like more than just me, but like, yeah.
Well, all right. Maybe we can get Blair to buy us one.
I mean, or they are a princess or royalty. We'll just go with royalty.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but I think
We're still assuming so much of that.
I assume at this point Blair goes by all of. It looks like yes, Blair goes by all pronouns.
Yeah, I just put them all in out of.
No, I mean
character.
we're assuming so much about how much money Blair has access to, but maybe she doesn't.
Right? We're just like, well, they're royalty. It's fine.
So out of curiosity, though, those just for clarification, those at the bottom left,
So-
those are for ourselves.
Yeah.
not necessarily
Oh, for the okay.
character.
But that's we kind of get it. That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, because that's the thing. So, but yeah, no, I was in the circus with my family. We used to do like, I didn't actually ever perform. I was too young at the time. I was training to perform though. But before that happened, I saw people flying ships, and I was like, that seems like way more fun than being a trapeze artist. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh,
So I went
geez
for it.
Louise, you've had an exciting life.
I mean, yeah. So have you, though. I mean, you have a metal arm, Edgar.
Well, I mean, I suppose, but I just grew up in a farming village, and
That's fair.
there's just that one thing.
Yeah, well, growing up in a circus isn't all it's cut out to be, I'm gonna be honest. It smells, and it's not very fun, and you have to help with all the chores, and you have to help, like, especially when you're not a performer and you're one of the kids there. Oh yeah, you're doing so many chores. It's not as exciting as you think it is.
No, I believe that. I believe that.
But I will say the performances were amazing. That was fun. We had this one person who would make like this sheet of ice with magic, and people would skate on it, and it would like bring in so many people. It was super fun. We were working on actually incorporating it into a trapeze act, but I left.
That's pretty neat. I think last time I worked with a sheet of ice, I melted a hole through it and fell in the water.
Same. But I had confidence that we would eventually get out of there. But yeah, so being a sky captain was fun, but once I realized a bunch of people that I was supposed to be able to trust were hiding things from me, it was harder to actually stick around and be a captain of people I didn't know were actually trustworthy or not. So, Now I'm here though, and so far it doesn't seem like any of you guys are going to withhold information from me. Too severely, at least. I mean, all of us have our own reasons, but I'm sure if you found information pertinent to me, you would at least tell me.
Oh, absolutely. As soon as I have any leads into this design, I will let you know.
And as soon as I have any more information for you or anything else happens, I will definitely tell you, Edgar. I want to tell, like I said, I want to tell everybody else too, but I do worry if Blair will be obligated to tell their dad about like the developments of it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. It's I don't know. There's only one way to know, and that's to ask. They'll
Yes.
have to have the conversation. It's
Yeah.
not gonna be easy, but gotta be done. But I know it's gonna go well.
Yeah, so far things have gone not great all the time, but everything's gone well so far.
And if you ever need a hand with anything, just let me know. And he takes off his arm and hands it to you.
Dang.
Cassandra just like, because like I told you earlier, she's a little hysterical about everything. She just starts laughing and just falls to the ground.
I can't. I'm sorry. I can't not make that joke. You gotta laugh about it. You gotta laugh about it. Plus, if I don't readjust it in my socket, then it's gonna get a little rusty.
That's fair. Gotta keep it oiled and cleaned and stuff.
Absolutely.
That makes sense. And like, I think, because that's actually something I'm curious about too, though, Edgar. Did you build this arm yourself, or did someone build it for you?
Oh no. I mean, it was mostly Professor Harlan, but I've worked a lot on it since then. So
So it's a collaboration.
Yeah, well, basically, but it's been a long time since I've been working on it. So I was gonna make a reference that doesn't exist in this world. So, you know,
It could exist if you want it to, technically.
the
We
ship of
make up the
Theseus
canon.
thing, right? So if you
Yeah.
change enough parts about something, is it still the same thing?
Yes. That's fair.
So it was made for me initially by Professor Harlan, but now I've made a few improvements.
Is
myself.
Professor Harlan? I don't think you've ever told us. Not really.
Yeah, I guess this is Malcreo speaking. I guess
Yeah.
I'm not sure what happened, like how much of the story I explained as part of just the, you know,
Yeah.
backstory filler part.
Mhm.
So I guess you guys all have to tell me what. Yeah, you folks all have
I
to tell
don't
me
really
what.
remember very much about Professor Harlan aside from the fact that you're looking for him
Okay, but
and that he
I did.
disappeared one day and he's like you think he's with the Elonian Empire or something, right? Like he got kidnapped or something?
Yeah, they showed up.
Yeah.
They showed up at his place one day, and they just
Yeah.
they kind
But
of
like I more
scooped
so
him
mean
up.
like who is he to Edgar and like how long did Edgar know him? Like that
Oh,
kind of stuff.
I mean, I knew him for a few years. Yeah, he was this inventor that had kind of settled near our little village, and I was kind of always running away from my chores and spying on him. And
Were you already inventing stuff back then?
well, in my own way, I was just, you know, I didn't have all the knowledge I had, but I was always trying to make my life easier. But yeah.
The
I mean,
laziest people can often be the smartest.
right? Well, you know, if you can make life easier, why wouldn't you? But yeah, and then
Some of my favorite people are lazy people because they make life easier. They put in a lot of effort to make something very easy.
Just to reply to something that was said in
Yeah.
the voice, the PCs do know that Harlan is making the weapons.
Yeah, I think you have told us that, but you explained that he was kidnapped.
Yes. Yeah.
Like you think
so,
it's against his will and that he's being forced to do these things.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah, because I found his mark. His maker's
Yeah.
mark was inside the
Armor
Magitech
that Tristan,
that
right?
embodied. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh
yeah, because that's why I was so focused on the fact that you might know something because
Yeah.
of the armor. Yes, now I remember.
Yeah. So he had to have gotten taken there against his will. He's a smart man, very smart with Magitech, and if they're, you know, the Elonian Empire's very Magitech centric, so it makes sense that they'd want a brilliant man like him among them. But I don't think he'd help them make weapons freely.
Yeah, because he's not really the type of person to. I mean, he made you an arm rather than a weapon, so that kind of makes sense. to me.
Yeah. So, thanks for a bit. He did have an explosive in his base or in his lab, but
Was
I mean that's different. You can use explosives for a lot of things, for mining and for
yeah.
so.
That's the sad thing about humanity. We can turn anything into a weapon.
How serious of an explosive are we talking about?
Well, so it's as with his backstory, I had kind of come up with this on the spot on the press start playthrough, but it was just like a very like a stick of dynamite,
Okay.
you know, like that I had used against the bandits, and then it blew my arm off.
Okie doke.
Yeah, so
but also,
okay, it's like
yeah,
a little bit of
that's right
C4
there.
kind of thing.
yeah, so it helped me fight off those bandits, but it also, you know, injured myself.
Okay.
What happens with
So
fireworks?
he's not a weapons maker. I don't. And Edgar would have never seen him make weapons, but
Yeah.
like
But
I said,
Edgar's
you know,
just
he
very
makes a
sure at
few.
the very least he wouldn't be working for the Elonian Empire to kill a bunch of people.
Not not a not definitely it maybe against his will, but not of his
Yeah.
own accord.
Yes. No, that makes sense. No, and like Cassandra truly does like believe Edgar, and like if you trust your professor has been taken against their will, I'm going to believe. Because given what I've seen Desdemona do, when I never thought she'd be capable of doing those things, anything is possible at this point.
Mhm. Yeah. This was it was a heavy morning. Should,
Should we go get breakfast?
I could go for some orange juice.
Okay. So we'll wander off to the cafeteria and try to find everybody else. What are you guys doing?
Levine would still be holed up in her room, you know, kind of polishing her armor and
Okay.
still reading the book a little bit here and there, prepping for the day, stuff like that.
Okay.
You arrive in one of I wouldn't call it a mess hall. But it's not like a formal dining room either. It's more like a family. It kind of looks like a servant's quarters type kind of thing, where there's definitely a dining room table type kind of setup with everything you would need. All the odds and ends, bells and whistles. But you are not dining with royalty. It's much more a the kind of atmosphere of here is everything so that you can get ready to perform your essential functions at the castle type kind of thing. Except it is mostly vacant except for Larice, who you see occasionally peeking in and out, kind of keeping track of who's there and who's not, and maybe the occasional servant or maintenance worker or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, I think
And
I'd just sit down and like start serving out some food, like get my food and start eating, waiting for everyone else to come down to breakfast. I mean, I already woke Edgar up with some heavy news. I don't need to do it to everybody else, I figure.
all right, I guess should Levine try to get on her thing with trying to tell everybody the stuff?
If
Yeah.
you're ready in that atmosphere, by all means.
And
Yeah,
Blair,
I
want
would-
to do something?
just
I
want to
was
make
just gonna
sure
say
that everybody's there
Blair's
that wants
probably
to be
not
there.
there right now. Not
Yeah.
to be avoiding. I think Blair would be doing stuff. Like, I imagine that they went back to the library to look at some other books after the stuff they learned about the Elonian Empire the night before.
So I guess for Levine, as she doesn't have her armor on yet. She was spending more time polishing at the moment. She's got herself for her day her head of what's that called? A whole head of cauliflower to snack on throughout the day. She's got that ready, and some kind of like really smoked spice like bundles of meat that are like well preserved and probably meant to be put into a stew and not eaten on their own. That's her snacks for the day. She takes a bite off that. It's very peppery. It's like, She just drinks a little water with it. And she's like just holding onto this book with her other hand so tightly as she's like going through in her head. Like she really doesn't want to tell anybody about who she is just because of the hassle that might be. And parts in her head are telling her she's more likely to end up dead than for this to ever matter with the luck that she's had. But she thinks back to the moments that led up to that and how transparency from so many others around her would have been so welcome, would have answered so many questions, and she realizes she has to do that, so she's going to get up and look for her friends, starting with obviously the cafeteria and stuff. So But and I guess while getting there too, she's going to realize that Blair isn't there either. So yeah, she's gonna walk into there, looking around, sees Cassandra and Edgar, goes up to because Cassandra and Edgar are probably eating together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
mean, I
she's
assume it's
gonna.
not.
On opposite sides of the room.
No,
You're
yeah.
just-
we
you're
Yeah.
we just
really
went to
awkwardly-
two completely different tables.
Just staring at each other angrily
It's funny to
after
me,
having that whole conversation. Yeah.
right?
No, she's gonna walk up to the two of them and ask, "Do you know where Blair is at? Also, where's Zinnia? Zinnia's probably there too, right? Is Zinnia sleeping in?
Zinnia is still sleeping, technically.
Oh, Zinnia said BRB, yeah. So I
Yeah.
guess, yeah. Levi's be like, do you two know where Blair and Zinnia are?
I'm guessing Zenya's probably sleeping in. Yeah, young people need their sleep. He
Yeah,
says
I've
being
heard
a young
that.
people.
Okay, so Levine's
yeah.
gonna say, when we get the chance, I need to speak with you all privately.
Oh,
And then she's gonna like bite off part of the cauliflower. Crunch, crunch.
Where did you get cauliflower?
On the market.
Oh, you don't
Crunch,
want.
crunch.
They have food here you can eat.
Wait, is this free?
Yeah.
She swallows really hard and she kind of wraps up her cauliflower in her napkin, goes over and starts dishing up a plate.
we could go and go over to Larice.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
And,
Yeah.
that she kind of starts pouring it some of her food into like a napkin, just kind of.
No, sit and eat, and then we can go.
That's right.
It can wait 10. You're gonna eat that in like less than 10 minutes. It can wait 10 minutes. Just
Like,
sit.
so Levine takes it as a challenge, and she's just gonna try like just shoveling it into her mouth and staring at Cassandra while she does it, like
Yeah.
just to show her up.
And then Cassandra's going to
challenge.
question her decisions in life.
And just downs a pitcher of water right after that.
So yeah, I guess Edgar will go up to Larice and say, "Hey, Larice, do you happen to know where Blair might be? Like, where do they usually go in the morning?"
Larice mentions to you that Blair has spent a good portion of their life with their nose in books and trying to study the world and so on. And that there's a good chance that Blair is either in their room reading from a personal collection or down in the library. But at hearing that Levine would like to speak to all of you privately, she signals to, the rest of the cook staff and everything in the immediate vicinity to kind of vacate and give you folks the room, and she says, I'll track Blair down and send them down your way.
Oh, okay. I mean, I didn't mean to. Like, you don't need to go anywhere. You can stay here if you want. But,
Larice
we can go find-
says that spending, so much time in the in the service of a royal family, that it's important to know, when discretion is required, and when things are meant for, the public's ears or not. And even if they hear something they're not supposed to, they promptly forget it. And mentions to you that it would be easier on everyone if they just gave you the room as much as possible, and there's no shortage of places for them to go and dine. So Larice goes in search of Blair, and where does Larice find you, Blair?
You find Blair kind of holed up in a tighter area of the library, just kind of books on a table near a window. And yeah, their head's kind of deep in a book, and they're just got their hand on their head, like they're really concentrating.
Larice gently calls out to you and says, Blair, your party is looking for you, and it sounded like they were looking to speak about something with some gravity to it. The waitstaff has made the room available to you and yours.
All right. Yeah, I'll make my way there, and Blair's gonna close the book and stick it in a bag. And there's also like a plate of scones that they picked up, along with like a teacup, and they're just gonna kind of carry it out and make their way over.
Oh man, now I want a scone.
Yeah, the blueberry scones. Gotta have the good stuff.
Gosh, jealous.
Go for some scones.
There's plenty on this plate, so Blair will share. As for
Okay,
the tea,
so-
though, that's pretty small.
All right.
All right, so I guess we're gonna reconvene in a moment. Hey.
Mhm.
Okay, and I imagine Zinnia is probably like just waking up or something. I don't know if Penguin's there or not.
I'm here.
Okay, just figured I'd try to wait a little bit just to make sure. All right, I guess it's like everyone's there, and Levine is like kind of prepping herself. She's holding that book of Armorican history, and you can see like probably the first time you can see Levine is just so anxious, like her hand is shaking. Okay, so how did I plan the speech? I gotta back it up a little bit. Like, my real name is not Levine Mippins. My name is Levine Fallbright of the Armorican Empire. I am presumed dead by Alonia and Armorica. By all rights, I should be dead. And she kind of thinks about that for a moment. And she lifts up her shirt enough to show the left side of her abdomen. And she has like scars kind of, oopsie, I bumped stuff. She has scars kind of like all over her body in general, most like from her own armor clashing with her skin. But there's this one like circular bullet wound on the left side of her abdomen. Kind of goes straight through. And she kind of puts her shirt down. And she thinks for a moment she should mention this name, but a man named Trep, who I trusted, who my family trusted with their lives, gave me this scar. The
Who's your
person who I was... Oh, sorry. I was just
That's
trying to make
okay. I
sure...
was gonna say, like, because that'd be Cassandra's first question. And who's your family?
Levine Fallbright of Armorica.
I mean, Armorica is a pretty big place. Where in Armorica?
I'm the former princess of Armorica.
Yeah, I think this is something that Cassandra, given the backstories that we've given Cassandra and Edgar, they're not gonna know this geographical stuff
No,
very well.
absolutely not. No.
I mean, maybe I
I
should know
am-
from Academy stuff, but no.
I am a traitor to both Armorica and Alonia, legally speaking. My family was said to have betrayed. I was part of the downfall of the capital 3 years ago, we'll say probably. Yeah, that's it. Person I was, who I was, died. I don't. Am I describing this well? Am I missing something?
Yeah.
Just make sure.
Fine.
You're good.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
The person who I was that day is dead, and I am left with the fragments of her memories. And I know for whatever it's worth, whether how many of them may be false or not, that Armorica and Alonia, me carrying around these memories is a liability for them, for whatever that's worth. And she kind of puts the book back in her backpack, and she just
So
kind
if
of
they
tries
know
to,
that you're still alive, it will be an issue.
most likely.
How
It
did
could
you
also
get
be an issue
away?
for I've always been very fast. That's one thing that's I've always been good at, is running. I should have died. Many people tried to protect me. I trusted those who tried to kill me. I can't say there's no reason to say I should have lived that day. It was nothing short of a miracle.
Well, I'm glad that you're here, Levine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Blair's just sort of like shocked, kind of sitting at the table. Like they just put their tea and scones down, and it's just like in like disbelief based on this person who was like eating I don't know, onions and ice cream in a cup, and then it's suddenly I was a princess once, and Blair's
Yeah.
just kind of got that mouth
Levine's
open,
nervous
like,
eating the cauliflower as Blair's intaking this. She like unwraps it a little bit, starts crunching on it.
like Blair is just kind of having that mind blown. Like if there was steam actually able to come out of their ears, it would be right now. Like, is this actually legit? Like trying to process this. But they
think
haven't said anything. They're just staring.
I think Levine also says with this too. I know we were planning on doing other missions together, but I also know if my background were to ever come out, it could also mean problems for Denova and the royal family, especially if I'm working directly with them.
And
I thought it best to be transparent. I think it's all that Levine needs to say for now, so.
Blair also has the bond of mistrust with Levine right now too. So there's also kind of like a little bit of suspicion as to how much of this is all legit. But they're not quite sure how to react to it at this moment. Just wanted to add that as well.
I guess Levine too. She's also. That's another thing, because I guess if that was on her mind, Levine would say to kind of kneel to Blair and say, "I'm sorry, I left you alone and put you in harm's way back at the forest of Yore. I promise I will do better next time." And then she stands back up.
Yeah, Blair nods to this and just sort of, again, it's kind of weighing everything that was just said, but you know, actions speak louder than words at the moment, so Blair's kind of gonna wait to see how this kind of unfolds.
Should we tell Larice?
Wait. Who is everybody else royalty? Am I the
No.
only one who's not?
No.
Cassandra, are you a princess?
Zinnia was gonna say that too. Are you a
Zinnia?
secret princess too?
Zinnia,
also-
are you a princess?
I'm more curious
No.
about Zinnia on that front. I am not a princess. I am, however, one of the youngest sky captains that got promoted to that rank, but I was never royalty. I mean, I don't think I'm a princess.
Around so many important people.
Who knows? You know, because my parents were part of like a traveling circus. That seems like a backstory for a princess, right? And just think.
That's just what a secret princess would say.
And Blair's like, I think I read that in a book once.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like it would be a book, but I don't think I'm a princess. My parents never told me I was a princess. That's for sure. I mean, if anything, I was like more of a babysitter. I kind of sucked.
Nice.
I mean,
think-
what
think
is the
Martha needs to go up here.
princess if not a babysitter for an entire country?
Good
And
point,
Blair
Edgar.
just frowns at that. She did not like that analogy.
My country doesn't have princesses.
What does your country have?
We have a council and a council leader.
Are you a part of the council?
No,
Is your
It's
not
family
quite
part of
old
the
enough for
council?
that.
Yeah, is your family part of the council?
my mom is.
So you're a princess.
You're a princess! Oh my goodness.
But I'm not a princess, and she's not a queen.
We're surrounded by people who run countries. This is impressive.
It's different when there's 8 people running it, though.
So there's 8 princesses.
That's
He's like, well, I have 7 sisters, so just my family.
so there you go.
Not even to mention the other 7 families.
Ah, wow. That's pretty. That's what's one coincidence that we've got here.
But but the council
Okay.
doesn't hold positions for life. It's quite different.
Oh, you're a temporary princess. Sorry, I'll shut up now.
I'm princess.
Anyways, so can I ask you a question, Zinnia? Why were you?
You
I
just
don't think we
did.
did. Yeah, thank you. Another question.
Back, by the
An
way.
additional multiple questions.
You can always ask.
So your mom's part of the council from the country that you're from.
Yes.
Is that close by where we found you before?
No. Yeah, it is close, but in her mind, it's, she was wandering for a while. It doesn't seem like
Yeah.
it's close to her.
That's fair. Does your
If you look on the map, you can see how far away it is.
so your
and she
mom
can
doesn't
describe where
know
it is.
that you're missing?
No, not yet.
Oh.
They were
Cassandra
supposed
just
to get
like
me.
puts her full face in her hand and she's like, I cannot believe that I flew a small child across the continent without making sure she didn't actually have parents. Just assumed she was an orphan and was like, this is fine. Just flew off with a child.
That's
we're gonna have to send a message to your parents today.
you should always contact your parents when you're traveling.
Let them know that you're safe and being cared for, and that we will
And
bring you
not
home as
kidnapped.
soon as we can. And then no, not kidnapped, but rescued from murderous trees.
I left a note at home. They'll get it when they get returned back home. But that won't be for another couple of months.
Oh,
Good gosh.
They're supposed to pick
Well-
me up at the end of this semester, but I left early. I didn't want to stay around until they kicked
Oh.
me out.
why were you getting kicked out of what's happening?
Is Zinnia a refugee or a outlaw like me? Are you
Kicked out
running
from
from the
where?
law, Zinnia?
Did you get kicked out of school? Did you get kicked out of your country? Did you get in trouble? I mean, you don't have to tell us, but like, we're not gonna judge you. I mean, I won't.
I'm a criminal too,
I-
Zinnia. It's okay.
I'm not a criminal. I'm just
Oh,
bad
I
at
guess I'm
magic.
the only
Oh,
criminal.
you're just bad at magic. Well, I mean,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm not good at it either.
that's okay, Zinnia. I can't do magic. We've already been through this.
yeah, Edgar would like to be able to do magic, it seems, but being able to do magic is cool, but like, I mean, look at what happened during the festival. I kept falling into the water and hurting myself.
Yeah, but I
So,
kept
like-
doing that too without magic.
That's what I'm saying. We're equally as dumb. Like, it doesn't give you an advantage.
I do that every fight with my magic. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
That's true.
That's alright. So we've got our strengths. You don't need magic to be strong.
Yeah.
But I suppose you might need magic to be good at a magic school,
So,
if that's
are,
what you were at.
And
Are
then
you
I need to be
at-
strong
country.
to use my
In
magic.
a magic country.
are you at, like, you're definitely, like, not at an age, though, where you should be by yourself, though, right?
I'm not by
Or
myself.
with-
I have Zither.
I was gonna say, or with your cat. It's gotta have more
That's-
people around you.
Yeah, you can't just have a cat. I mean, cats are nice.
Why does it have
Sandra,
to
like,
be
reaches
people?
up and touches their ears.
I
Cats are
suppose it
obviously
doesn't-
great.
It doesn't
But-
necessarily have to be. People. You're right.
Blair, can I have a scone?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, thank you.
And they will push the plate towards everybody. There's like a lot of scones there.
Oh. We also, I also wanted to talk to you guys about things as well. We will figure out more things with Zinnia later, I feel like.
Blair's
Especially-
tilting their head and looking at Cassandra. Like,
Yeah, but
what?
so after we went and saw the librarian, I cannot remember her name, Ashara?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
After we saw Ashara and we talked about the different types of magic and the fact that there was definitely signs of Tristan's soul or like some kind of soul magic being done on the compass, I took it upon myself last night to try and see if I could communicate with Tristan's soul and see if I could get some answers. And while I didn't actually get any kind of like verbal response per se, it did vibrate when I asked, "Are you there?" But it didn't really answer any other questions in any kind of coherent way. It also, she takes it out and does the same thing she showed to Edgar earlier, where like she lifts it up and then it just lets it like kind of like, it won't go any further, and then it just like drops back down really heavy. I also can't take it off anymore. Or take it too far from my person? I don't know. I haven't tried to fully take it off yet. I'm a little bit worried that it'd be a bad idea.
May I? And Levine kind of extends her hand just to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's gonna make sure she's gonna get close, so she's not like. She's just gonna, I guess, try to see if there's any kind of metals she might have. I don't know if I feel like we might have done this before actually, but she's gonna kind of look at, see if it reminds her of any metals that she's come across, and also just kind of stare at it and think about the core of her magic too, kind of that emptiness, that void, and kind of see if there's something she can see there.
So, let's see, make an insight and willpower check for me.
Oop, that one on the floor. Hey, we don't
Almost
need that one.
an
We'll grab a
hour
different
before
dice.
the first dice roll.
Well, I got an 8.
8.
Wait. I want to use a Fabula point to re-roll.
Sure.
It's gonna be in regards to trying to help Cassandra here. She wants to prove her worth to Cassandra.
Okay.
Frick, it's lower. I somehow went from a 2 to a 1. I'm using one more. I'm re-rolling one more time.
Okay.
Whoa.
So
Come on, it's gotta get higher. It's gotta get higher. 7, there, it's a 13 total.
A 13 total?
Yes.
Hang on 1 second.
The other one was a 6, so that's why I thought I'd re-roll the big die.
Alright, so in terms of the metal and everything, it seems pretty unremarkable to you. There's nothing about its construction that seems to be particularly special. It's definitely some sort of whatever it is caused by an enchantment or magic, and the materials that it's made out of doesn't seem to be a factor. When you try to assert your powers as a dark blade and see how that interfaces with it, what you feel is kind of like a tugging somewhere deep inside of you. It's kind of that feeling you get when you're really anxious about something and it feels like your stomach kind of is hollowed out and it gets a little bit more difficult to breathe. And you can feel something almost kind of tugging at you, like it's got a chain on what's inside of you, and it's pulling on it a little bit, but nothing physically manifesting.
Okay, Levine is going to just gently hand it back to Cassandra and say, that might kill me. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
You can hold on to it for now.
That's fine. Edgar and I will take care
Like,
of it.
because obviously I could hold on to it for you.
No, you can't.
No, but you could hold on to Cassandra. We've already had this kind of
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Oh, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out later. We'll let you know.
Once the
Mike,
plans are
want-
drafted,
you want me
Master
to date
Frodo, I
Cassandra?
can't carry the ring, but I can carry you.
No.
Want me to embrace Cassandra?
No. Just
He said
like
carry.
This is part of our undercover. for the commune? We're gonna go undercover as a couple.
No. Just literally lift.
Oh, okay. And then she's gonna get up and she's gonna try to bench Cassandra over her head.
No, not right now. You gotta get the
Okay.
machine built.
Make
There's casually
Leaping
face
out of the
palming.
make a strength and dexterity check.
Ah, heck yeah. Let's freaking go.
Sorry, a might and
Let's do it.
dexterity.
Ah, dang. I only got an 11. That's probably fine, right?
So, Cassandra, are you willing to be lifted off the ground?
I don't think she's going to resist too hard because they're in like a dining room and she might break something if she tries.
Okay.
So I think she probably mostly reluctantly lets it happen, I suppose.
Okay. So, Cassandra's not really fighting back, but is a little bit stiff, like trying not to knock anything over, not totally limp, and it actually makes it a little bit easier for you to sort of put your shoulder in and lift, and you manage to pick up Cassandra, although you don't look super strong doing it. It's clear that you're starting to perspire.
Too much cauliflower.
Yep, and this is not an easy thing for you to do, or not something you could do for a prolonged period of time.
Yeah, Levita's gonna put her down for now. She's getting a stomachache. She doesn't want to end up farting in front of everyone while doing this, so.
Edgar claps.
And then she kind of, Levine bows.
You would have done great in the circus, Levine.
Thanks. I don't know what.
Woman act.
I don't know what. Is that what the commune's about?
I don't think so. I mean, it
Okay.
would be
This seems
interesting
random
if all of
to
a
mention
sudden
it.
they became because you lived. Never mind.
That's fair. Never been to the circus.
You never went to the circus? Have you guys? Have none of you been to the circus?
I'll be honest. I have no idea what it is. You were talking about it earlier, but I was too afraid to ask.
Oh, the circus. It's just like a bunch of traveling performers. We had like different types of animals you could go and see people do performances with. There was people who would do like these crazy acrobatics in the air and like fly around and use their magic and stuff.
Well, that's
Oh,
We had some people who would do like shows of strength. There was even
oh wait, we kind of had our own circus when my family would try to have people compete to betroth me.
I mean that sounds like a circus, but yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing, I guess. I didn't think about it like that.
But yeah, like, it was just like, but a lot of the times the performers had children and stuff while they were on the road, and we would like grow up there. And, like like I said, we would like do chores, and some of us would train to do stuff. Like I was learning to be a trapeze artist, which is part of the reason I like flying so much. But flying like this is, I think, way more fun than flying in the circus. Way more lucrative too, honestly.
Yeah, that is probably true.
But yeah, you would probably do well too in the circus, Edgar. But you would do like the kinds of like puppet shows and stuff for like the kids. I think you
Oh,
would
yeah?
be good for that. Yeah.
I could
Well-
build puppets.
Yeah,
What would
exactly.
Zinnia do in the circus?
Obviously, lion tamer. I point to the cat.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. And
Now
Blair
do
could be a
Blair.
ringleader.
The ring?
ah,
What
true.
did they do with the animals? Did the animals tell jokes or something?
They would have them do tricks sometimes. I wasn't a big fan of the animal shows, I'll be honest. Some of them weren't my favorite. Some of them were kind of fun though. And those were with the more smarter animals. You could tell that they were having more of a
Is it
because
you're
they were
half animal?
smarter and more intelligent. Yeah. Part of it. Part of the reason my family initially joined the circus is because the ringleader thought it was very interesting to have a family of cat people. Which I need to figure out a name for the race that Cassandra is. I haven't done that yet. If anybody has any ideas, let me know.
Catfolk, something super clever.
But anyways,
The Felinian Empire.
but he thought it was, because cats are kind of known for like always landing on their feet and like having 9 lives. He would like hire people like me to like be trapeze artists and stuff like that a lot because he could really kind of push. The circus was not a good place.
Oh, well, I was about to suggest that we should start our own circus, but maybe
I
not.
mean, we could make a better circus than Heat. It's mostly about who's running it, I feel like.
There you go.
Because if someone who isn't terrible is running it, I'm sure it could be much better.
Yeah, Blair's sitting over here just like picturing the idea of a ringleader, and all they can think of is just somebody wearing a lot of rings for some reason. And it's just like, I guess I could do that.
Using a bunch
So-
of hula hoops at once,
That
So
would be
for
a
the ring,
bling
the
ring.
ring is like what's called the stage of the performances. Or like that's what they call it the ring. That's where all the performances happen. So you would be the leader of that ring.
Oh, I see.
So yeah.
Huh.
Levine was also thinking the same thing Blair was thinking. She's like, oh, okay.
I mean, technically, there are people who do stunts with lots of rings on them, though. That is a thing.
So
Is it hard to do the stunts with all the rings you're wearing? I don't get the point of the rings.
That wasn't really a thing that I did. I didn't. People liked it. I more did like the fire breathing, air flying stuff. Because
you
I'm
can
like,
breathe fire?
well, I can fake that I breathe fire.
Oh, yeah. And Blair's gonna sit back like, oh.
I have elemental
Yeah.
magic. It's a little bit easier to
The magic's ruined.
execute stuff like that. Well, I mean, I'm still producing magic. It's just not coming out of my lung.
Next, you're gonna tell me they didn't cut the people in half.
Of course, they don't cut the people in half. I mean,
Ah. I've cut people in half.
Oh,
You've seen me cut people in half.
how about that cult?
Oh yeah, we should go take care of that today.
Or at least, yeah, like, what was our plan? We were just gonna investigate that? Try to just go and hang out?
We need to
I do think
infiltrate.
we need to go look at that, but I also think it could be important because Blair trusts it's Keeper Ashara, right?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Blair trusts Keeper Ashara, so I'm wondering if we should approach her about what happened with the compass as well last night and gather more information from Keeper Ashara, and then we can gather up some supplies and then go hit up the commune. I have to stop calling it a cult.
We also should check with anybody if it's okay to investigate the commune.
And
Also, should we tell them about me?
I think the king should know.
And like Levine is like gripping her like hands together very tightly as she's thinking about this.
yeah,
I mean, everybody, the king should, right, Blair?
yeah, I think he should know. And Sinus, about Table, is there anything I would know between the relationship with Denova and Amorca? Or
Well, so Denova is very much kind of isolationist and neutral type kind of thing. And so Denova had full trade with Armorica and would have been on friendly terms with them while they were an independent nation. Yeah.
in that case, Blair would just be like, "Yeah, I think we should let King Roland know. I know that in the past we had done trade with Amorca, so I think it would be okay."
Okay.
Just maybe don't open by saying that you're a traitor.
Yeah, don't. We'll ease into it about how you were betrayed. Yeah.
Right.
And then you're considered a traitor by the people who betrayed you. Right? It's all about how you phrase things, Levine.
You can see the pit stains forming so much. Just it's like she's like rubbing her hands together and you can see and she's just sweating. And she's like nodding, trying to take it in, but
It'll be okay. We'll protect you.
she's sweating even more because she's supposed to be the one that does that. So she's hands faster rubbing. All right, I guess she has to go
Sometimes
talk.
the people who are protecting others have to also be protected. It's okay.
Levine's nodding.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Alright,
guess,
I guess
we're gonna
We're
look
gonna
for
tell
the king. Yeah.
Okay.
And-
So as you exit the door, the you kind of catch eyes with Larice, who signals to people to go in and clean up the room, and she escorts you up. Well, she says, "Oh, you wished for an audience with the king. Let me check his schedule." And she pulls out a notebook and looks in there, and he says, may I ask what this is concerning?"
Mm.
Blair
Levine
kind
would.
of. Oh, go
Levine's
ahead.
freezing at this. I'll just say Levine's freezing in this moment, just thinking.
We have pertinent information that we think would be very necessary for him to know about in regards to Amorica and the Elonian Empire.
Says, "Well, we are relatively well informed, but we wouldn't want to take a chance that maybe we've missed something. I'll see if the king can fit you in the next hour or so. Um, is there anyone else or anything else you need from the castle in the meantime?"
We'll go speak with Keeper Shar for a little while. If
She
that's all
says,
right.
"Very good. I will stop by as soon as the king is ready to receive you." And she walks you back to the library, where you find Keeper Ashara in almost the identical position you left them in, with very similar clothes. And again, she doesn't even really look up when you arrive. And but she says out loud, "Back so soon?"
We had some
Levine
developments.
is gonna pull out the book and hand it back to Ashura. Here you go.
"Thank you, dear." Now,
Levine is still just
what
kinda wringing
developments
her
do you
hands.
speak of?
So, ever since we let you examine the compass last night, it's not really wanting to be far away from my person. Additionally, I tried to reach out and speak to Tristan and ask him if he was there, and the locket vibrated, and like almost as if it was responding to me. It didn't really answer other questions, but
She says, at the first thing you say, she seems totally unsurprised that this item would be bound to you. It's very common for objects to become bound to a specific person, whether that's the work of magic or a curse or some other thing. It's not totally out of the ordinary, and Ashara tells you that it probably didn't have anything to do with the analysis that they performed the day before. But when you mention that the compass vibrated when you talk to it, she perks up a little bit and says that is most unusual. It certainly seems to be evidence to support that soul magic is involved, that there is some sort of manipulation of um, consciousness beyond the mortal plane, or what is encapsulated in a corporeal form. But as to what it could mean, she says, "You said this person's name was Tristan? How do you know that Tristan is the soul that is in there?"
And then
Desdemona
Cassandra
mostly,
realizes we maybe
right?
never told about how we actually came upon the compass, and we were just asking about the compass.
Mhm.
So then I launch into so basically we'll skip ahead to the most pertinent thing. When we joined, I was following rumors about a former friend of mine named Desdemona, and I went along with Blair on this expedition because Desdemona was rumored to be in the area. And we did come across Desdemona, and Desdemona was performing a ritual in order to bring Tristan back to life. And we
Most
prevented that
interesting.
ritual from happening.
Additional evidence that supports that this is soul magic, that this is forbidden magic, and it is.
And I suppose we don't know 100% sure that it's Tristan in there. It's just the assumption of mine that that's who Desdemona was bringing back to life.
In
Because
any.
did she ever actually say that Sinus, that was Tristan? Like, because I know you were saying it to us, but like, did Desdemona ever acknowledge?
I feel like that probably would.
Because I know I accused her, and and stuff like that. Feels like Cassandra accused her and everything.
I believe so. I think.
Okay.
Because she was talking about bringing Tristan back, and he's in that.
Oh yeah. Because because I think you had Desdemona say something to me about it because I was trying to stop her, and she's like, "Why are you trying to stop me?"
Yep.
Yeah, she was trying to convince you to
yeah.
work with her,
Yeah,
and
okay.
so she would have.
I remember now. Okay, so yeah, so we had it definitely, like, Desdemona told us that Tristan was in here.
And then Preserver Ashara says that it's a good thing you interrupted the ritual when you did. Who knows what sort of catastrophic consequences there might have been. She says my other point does stand though, which is, can you really be sure that it was Tristan that you were speaking to whenever the compass reacted to you as it did? And it hits you that this very well could be true. You definitely have reason and evidence to believe that Tristan's soul could be trapped in there or a part of the compass, but it may not necessarily be the thing that resonated with you or responded to you so far.
I see.
But yeah, that's about as much as Preserver Ashara could say with any confidence based on those developments.
Levine will want to add that she tried to attune her magic to the compass, and it felt like it was tugging at her very core, and kind of explain the anxiety and stuff to Ashara, and if that's something that Levine should avoid.
Ashara mentions that it shouldn't. The magic that a dark blade wields is related to soul magic in a certain way, but a dark blade's magic is very limited to the user's constitution in performing supernatural feats. However, soul magic can reach beyond the user and affect other people around it, which may explain why you felt that type of tug. Preserver Ashara does kind of a cover your ass type kind of thing and says it certainly couldn't hurt to be careful using Darkblade abilities around the compass, but she's not really sure that you are in any danger or that it's going to affect you in any specific way. It's just that those two types of magic are related and resonate with each other in a certain way. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's good to know, though. We can definitely keep an eye on that, at least, to see if there is any reaction.
Are there any other questions that you have for me?
No, I was just maybe
Is anybody...
you'd have more information when I told you. That's okay.
We were looking to to investigate the commune of Radiance.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Radiance.
Yeah, I think it's
Right?
Radiance.
What are
Okay.
you looking
We've
for?
been calling it a cult for so long that we can't remember.
We want to
Um,
make sure they're not doing
Statistics,
bad
information.
stuff. Levine should not be explaining this.
Yes, Cassandra will step in a little bit. We're looking for information based on like its timeline, when it started, who its leaders are, general information, maybe like statistics about how they've grown over the last few months. Because it seems like they're growing quite quickly.
So, Preserver Ashara tells you that general knowledge is her purview, but not really the interest of her specific research. So she says, as to whether there would be any ramifications in investing the commune, she couldn't say. But she can provide you some information about it, and they have been steadily growing month after month, and it seems to be growing at a rate of, basically like maybe one side of a street every week or so. They gather up,
That's
so
fast.
Yeah.
And the king is doing nothing?
The king, well, you'd have to ask the king about what he's doing or not doing, but generally speaking, the commune is well received and takes care of itself and pays its dues, and so
Essentially annexing land, though.
they're purchasing the land. They have their own resources, and they're keeping the refugees of Denova, coming to Denova, healthy and fed, which is, from the kingdom's perspective, probably something of a relief of that burden.
Right.
Now, as to whether that is becoming untenable or threatening the independence of Denova or not, that's getting into politics, which is a little bit outside my purview.
Fair. Can you answer, do you happen to know how this commune is able to gather resources that even a kingdom cannot?
She says that is something that there isn't a lot of data on. The commune has always been a part of Denova, but it's only really recently, in the past decade or so, begun to grow and gain a significant following, and it has a lot to do with people in need arriving in this kingdom, people fleeing the Elonian Empire, or refugees from the United States of Armorica, or anywhere else in the world. It seems that the war, or the state of conflict in the world in general, is creating a hardship for some people, and for many people, and the kingdom of Denova taking a neutral and isolated position seems to be a source of stability for a lot of different external observers. And so many people arrive in Denova hoping to escape a war-torn landscape or nationscape, and many of them find it, but many of them have to sacrifice or leave behind most things of value in order to travel here. And that's where the commune very much tries to step in and do some recruiting. It's one thing to accept handouts, and it's one thing to gain a following in a religion for people who need nothing. That's nearly an impossible task to change those hearts and minds. But the hearts and minds of the needy and the destitute, that's something that is a little bit easier to win over, especially when you're holding out your hand with food and drink in it instead of asking for coin.
Mm.
Levine's
The
gonna crunch
kingdom
on
is
some
asking for
cauliflower.
coin,
What was that?
Kingdoms are
Cassandra?
always asking for
and the
coin.
kingdom is asking for coin.
No, many religions and followings
Oh
are
yes, they'll ask for donations. Yes.
right, and most of them ask something of you, and the commune seems to be able to um, hold out a hand, a giving hand, and that seems to be the attraction to it as of late. Um, n- Having such a large group of people available to go and do unskilled labor like fishing or farming and so on has um, they've really taken people who have nothing, who are willing to work for a better life, and use that to kind of create their own food stores and their own resources, and to be able to continue to grow pretty much unrestrained.
I have a question really quick above the table and all that.
Yeah.
So Cassandra is slowly getting more and more frustrated with the idea that a random commune is doing this and taking over a kingdom when the kingdom could be doing all of these things. Like she already kind of had like a little bit. She made a comment to Blair before, I think, about it, about how she thought that was weird. But I'm pretty sure, like, if I say something to the king, will Cassandra get arrested? I just want to know if I should like not bring it up because I kind of want to.
Yeah, you think
above
it's
above
probably
the
not
table,
the thing.
there's no
Yeah,
way to
like,
know unless you do it.
that's fair. Oh, fine. I think I'll risk it then. But anyways, so I'll with Keeper Ashara. So this commune's been recruiting refugees from different places.
Not so much
And
recruiting as just taking in anyone who comes in. I mean, you have
Well,
you
you said the
probably
word
saw when
recruiting.
you arrived, they have troubadours everywhere who they're the first faces you see when you walk into the city other than guards.
No, I know. And that's kind of strange.
I think the only thing we can do is just go in and see for ourselves then.
For sure. Cassandra is too, though, like, mentally thinking that, like, either this is a cult or they're actually good people who are taking in refugees that no one else would. Or maybe they're a resistance against Elonia. And that's actually what's at the heart of this. And then
Levine
we'll go
is-
there and find it's a resistance, and that'll be wonderful. But she's not super hopeful that that's what's gonna be the case.
Vena's trying to think back to the like years prior to the fall of the American capital and all that. Was there anything similar to this that might have been happening in the capital or anything of that nature that she might recall?
The Commune of Radiance existed in the former United States of Armorica as well, but it was not prolific like this.
Okay. It only actually started it more so in Nova rather than...
Still suspicious.
It has pockets in many places. It is like religion.
No, it's like a little, it's like an actual like branch of religion kind of thing.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
It doesn't really tell us anything, but it is something that's, you know, it gets around.
Mm-hmm.
Or it doesn't tell Levine anything straight up, but...
Yep.
Blair's gonna look at Ashara and ask, was there ever like a group that tried this before and didn't succeed? Is there history or accounts of people that tried this before?
That tried what?
You know, just helping the destitute out and, you know, not
Creating
asking
a
for a
commune.
handout. Yeah, like anything similar?
If you're asking about a treatise on socialist movements, I mean, it's an experimental government that has never really worked out on a nation scale before. But this is not a government. It's an entity that is wholly different. In order for the kingdom to function, there has to be taxes. And one thing that, the commune promises food and water and work, but it doesn't necessarily promise protection or anything else like that, and it doesn't necessarily promise the ability to negotiate with other nations of the world. It's still, a growing entity, but when you're in need, you probably overlook that. And since it is growing in the kingdom of Denova, it's reasonable to assume that members of the commune who live in Denova would be protected by the Denovan Guard just by proximity.
Got you.
So they're kind of leveraging the position that they have right at the moment.
I understand.
And it's
Levine
at
is
this
still-
point that you notice that Larice is kind of behind you and has arrived and sort of signaled that, hey, the king will be ready to see you soon.
Levine's hands just rubbing them together, sweating.
I think Cassandra will turn to Blair and then like you did tell your dad everything about what happened, right?
I more or less told him about my account of what transpired and more.
But about Desdemona and the ritual.
I didn't go all into that detail, no. I just said that we had encountered some resistance, but again, I didn't go into that length of detail. That would be something we should clarify upon discussion.
Yeah, I think if we're going to be talking to him about Levine, we should talk to him about that too. Because it seems a bit odd to be like, this is the secret that we need to tell you, and then not tell him the other secret.
Levine is just sweating so much, like, oh, I'm so getting thrown in jail. We've held so much from him. He's panicking.
It'll be okay.
Did Edgar Zinnia have any sort of reaction to this discussion, or are they just kind of, flowers on the wall there?
That's true.
No, I mean, it's pretty surprising that it's been allowed to grow like this.
Edgar's also kind of the mind that, it's the glass half full kind of thing. Like, it seems like a great movement too, so.
Yeah, and he still wants to believe that it's just good people helping people in need. There's a part of him that knows that this got to be something. I mean, that money has to come from somewhere.
Yeah, that's my thing is...
Where does that money come from?
It's the same thing with the Elonian Empire, though, too. Where did Elonia get... Because, Sinus before described Elonia as not having very many resources, which is why they went hard for Magitech. How did they get the resources that they needed to build all that Magitech? How did they get the resources that they needed to take over a huge chunk of the continent?
Maybe it was alchemy.
So this has an answer that you folks would be familiar with.
Okay.
So if you're looking at the map, the Elonian Hell Ridge was it was discovered that there was a special type of metal ore that was found there, and so those resources were innate to Elonia. Type kind of thing. So while they didn't have a whole lot in terms of food resources, they were able to make machines of war.
So Elonia started as just this part, this island basically, and then it moved up.
Just everything north of the Hell Ridge is where it started. And then eventually they took over the south half of the continent and then started moving up to the Armorican continent.
Levine's looking
fascinating.
at this map and she's kind of wondering about
All with
her
some
boys
fancy
up
metal.
there.
Damn.
Anyways,
Those sinus.
Let's get you some of
I
that
wrote
fancy
in-
metal, Edgar.
Go ahead, Zinnia. You wrote what?
I wrote in Zinnia's backstory, her very elaborate backstory of this whole country, that the Elonians and her people sort of traded technology for magic. And that was help the Elonians take advantage of magic technology in this new ore.
Mm-hmm.
oh,
I don't know if
So-
that's canon or not, though.
That can absolutely be canon. There's no reason that that has to be mutually exclusive from this. So I would say yes. Mansylvanians were able to trade a certain amount with the Elonian Empire in exchange for magical knowledge or a piece of that information.
Pennsylvania put the magi in their tech.
if
Exactly.
Levine hears about this, oh man, she's gonna get a sour stomach. Oh
Yeah,
no.
I think Zinnia would have just said that out loud.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't, she's not, I don't think worldly enough to think that she should be hiding that information.
Right. Especially as a
Yeah.
child, like, oh yeah, I heard this before.
Yeah.
Preserver Ashara pipes up at this and says, it's not really clear whether Mansylvanian influence is what propelled the Elonian war machine, into the prolific military force that it is now. You would really have to ask members of their council details about what information was traded. The timing of it is somewhat conspicuous, but far from definitive evidence or conclusive evidence.
Well, it doesn't make sense that they would be helping the Elonians build a war machine on purpose. We're a peaceful people.
Perhaps that's what they traded for was peace.
And
All
sometimes
right, above the
too,
table,
you
you're
can give-
spot on.
Yeah, that's funny.
Since the original contract, the Elonians have been withholding more and more of the technology.
Yeah,
It's become more and more one-sided.
and I will say too, though, sometimes you can give somebody a resource and then it becomes a bigger problem than you expect.
Yeah, we taught them how to make explosives for mining, and we didn't even think about the other uses. That was a metaphor, not really explosives. In this
Yeah,
case, it's
gotcha,
magic.
though. Teach them how to make explosives for beating up bandits.
That's funny. I used the same explanation earlier too.
Right.
I suppose we should do that whole thing with the king, right? We're probably good
Yeah, we
here.
probably should hold the king up.
Larice escorts all of you to the doors before the throne room and looks at Blair and says, "Are you sure you want to do this and bring all of your friends in on this?"
Is that like a whisper, or is that said out loud where they could hear?
That's out loud where they could hear.
Levine's just like, my mouth's so dry. She's just sweating.
We're
Blair's
friends? All right.
Blair just sort of nods and is like, my father told me that I need to chart my own path to, understand how to be a ruler someday. So this is another one of those experiences. So yes, I would
Larice
like to.
says, "I understand that, and that is a mature step forward. Just know that when you enter the room with these people, your fates may be tied together in a way that may not be easily disentangled in the future. So, if you are taking these people in there, bear in mind that how consequences of your actions may affect them in the future. And that can be good or it can be bad, but know that that you are crossing a threshold that there's not really any going back from.
I think.
Blair will. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go. You go.
Yeah, Blair will just nod, and they're feeling relatively determined, and they're gonna look at everybody and just say, "I trust you guys, so let's see what my dad has to say."
Lorraine
Levine is
says-
gonna take a moment to stop people. Say, I can go in alone, or I can leave now. I don't need to bring any of you into this with me.
It'll be fine. We
We're in
trust
this-
Blair. Blair trusts us. And if anything, if Blair gets in trouble for something and we're involved in it for whatever reason, then we've already kind of thrown our lot in with them anyways, multiple times now. So what's doing it once more time?
Yeah,
Like-
this circus doesn't leave its members alone.
Right?
Well,
We'll make our own circus.
Are
Edgar
we?
puts his
Is that
hand in.
gonna be the name of our team?
I'll put my
the
hand on top of
circus?
Edgar too. Edgar's hand.
Levine puts her very sweaty, large hand on top of Cassandra's.
So glad I'm at the bottom.
Larice says, very well
Come on,
then."
Blair, you're in on this too, right? It's just you can see sweat glistening on the back
Just
of her
like
hand.
staring at Blair and Zinnia. Come on.
And opens the door and looks at
Answer.
Blair and says, remember that you are you are addressing your father in royal decorum this time. This is not an empty room with a father and their child. This is, when you are a member of the royal family, it is more than that, in front of other people. And opens the door and walks away.
Blair's just gonna take a deep breath after kind of putting their hand on top of everybody's, and you kind of get that little jittery feel because now they're nervous.
Now we're just waiting for Zinnia. Is Zinnia there?
I
Yeah,
just
I'm here.
picture Zinnia's underneath everybody and just trying to reach up or something.
Right? Maybe you just
I don't
can't,
know
not
if-
tall enough.
The idea of having a random kid come in with us just feels so shady. Just some random missing
We
child.
rescued Zinnia. We rescued her. It's fine. We just forgot the whole find the parents first part. It's fine.
Heck, they rescued Blair once too.
Yeah, technically Zinnia did rescue Blair. So Zinnia should really be here. That's a
The
good
And
point.
both
got
feels-
all that food out of the forest.
Yeah.
We feel so guilty and ashamed and
It's-
sweaty.
It's okay. Alright. So we'll everyone's hands are in.
The circus. 1, 2, 3. The circus.
Well, we gotta pick a better name for that, but yeah.
We'll figure it out. We'll
Oh, I
workshop
thought
it.
I thought that's what you guys were saying. I'm sorry.
Well, we're just implying that we're a circus, but we'll find
Purple.
like a fun name.
The fun circus.
Okay. You all enter the throne room, and King Roland sits on his throne, and nearby you see another man, which Blair at the very least will recognize. This man is Sherwin, the vanguard of Denova, and he is the leader of Denova's policing and military force. Let's see. He's kind of responsible for both policing the state, but also any quote military options going on outside of Denova, unquote. However, being a neutral isolationist nation, that's not very much of anything other than, you know, the occasional large predator near the city walls or something like that. And as you approach, the king says, "So these are your companions. I'm given to understand that you have some important information to share."
And Blair's gonna like do like a I don't know what would be akin to like a respectful nod, salute sort of thing. And then
Levine does go on a knee too as she enters.
It is the king. We
And-
should all take a knee.
Yeah,
we
and-
should take a knee.
It
And
makes sense for
Blair-
Blair to bow or nod, you know. So
Well, yeah, no, Blair doesn't have to, but like the rest of us should probably be taking a
And-
knee, I think.
and Blair would go out of their way to just give introductions like this is Cassandra, this here is Edgar, this is Zinnia, and this here is, Levine. And then she would
Then you hear
look-
a loud meowing.
Zinnia's cat.
Zither.
God, I'm sorry. What's the name of the cat?
Zither.
Zither. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Man, I am.
It feels
sorry
very in
for-
character, honestly, for Blair to be like, the name, give me the name.
Yeah. And then Blair's gonna kind of gesture to Levine and say Levine is the one that has the information to provide when you're ready.
Levine slowly raises from her knee, stares at the whole grouping of royal councilmen. That's what I want.
I don't think it's that many. It was just like the king and one other person, I thought, right?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, never mind. The two dudes then, the two royalty.
Mhm.
And she says, "I am Levine Falbright, formerly of the Armorican Empire, or United States of America. I don't know. It's probably not Empire. My family and I are presumed dead, and I have taken refuge in this country as former royalty of Armorica."
The king and the vanguard both seem unfazed and unsurprised at this revelation, and a pregnant pause takes place, and King Roland says, "Is that all? We knew that Levine Falbright was in Denova. There's not been any official request for sanctuary of any kind, and we'd like to keep it that way. It's probably safer for everyone involved, but your movements and lineage are known to us."
Okay.
And it's all. She goes back down on her knee.
And it's about this point that you remember, Levine, that Preserver Ashara, a night or two ago, called you Princess, and probably shared that information with the king if he didn't
Her eyes-
already have it earlier.
Her eyes go wide. She's like just clenching her fist. Son of a gun. She's like both angry at herself and Ashara at this point for not realizing it.
And yeah, sorry,
Oh
Cassandra.
no, you can go. You go,
No, I was-
Blair.
I was just gonna say that like Blair just kind of wonders if that was all Levine felt comfortable sharing, and then kind of looks to Cassandra and anyone else to see if there
Yeah.
was.
Yeah, so I'm gonna ask. That's two different things I was gonna do. Cause yeah, look over at Levine and be like, "Don't you want to explain more?" Or well, I suppose maybe cause
I mean,
I don't want to say
get-
this. I'm not saying this out loud, but like Cassandra currently, like in her mind, is like, I was doubtful that this king was even aware of anything happening in his country, but he's been fully aware that Levine was here the whole time. And Levine apparently, I don't want to say like, from my impression, is that it's not necessarily like she's gotten older. She's not the same age, so she probably looks a little bit different. So the fact that they knew immediately who she was, and so on and so forth. now I'm just kind of like, is there more to this person than I thought there was? But at the same time, so like, they probably do know about maybe the fact that Levine's family was actually betrayed, because they're not being like, oh, traitor, and stuff like that. They're just like, that's chill. You just don't mention that you're here, and it's fine.
Yeah, Levine has no idea what other countries might think about all of that, but she knows as far as Armorica was concerned, her family was considered traitors, so that's why there is that heightened level of anxiety, because she doesn't know what other
Well, yeah,
countries
but
have
like a
to think
neutral
about.
country usually wouldn't harbor
Yeah.
a fugitive if they
No,
thought
yeah.
that fugitive was guilty.
A lot of Levine's anxiety with that is self-imposed and just
Yeah.
from a lot of unknown information she has. So I should
Like-
mention that too. Like,
But Cassandra does want to specifically bring up, so Blair told me that that you were informed that we encountered resistance during our quest, but that you weren't told all of the details. And then, so like, Cassandra, I think, will sort of launch into like a brief description of what we stumbled upon with Desdemona and like explain who Desdemona like once was like a mentor and then was like actually kind of like a captain for a while until Cassandra was promoted herself. So like she'll kind of explain some of that stuff and how she's not fully sure what to do about the compass, or if the king is uncomfortable with like what he would like to have done per se, because we
So,
can't keep secrets. And I'm assuming honestly that Preserver Ashara lady already said everything, but it's still good to mention it.
King Roland lets you know that regardless of how much was shared with him by Blair, that there were spies present, and that Desdemona's name and movements are known to the kingdom of Denova. However, there was no one else inside the actual temple where you folks were that saw the results of the battle or the intricate details of it. That it was mostly Desdemona was seen arriving at the crater, known to be looking for something,
Okay.
and then left presumably without it following that conflict. And left it wounded for sure. The details of the compass and what may or may not be in there, or what it does or is doing, that is somewhat newer information. Outside of whatever you. So anything that you had mentioned to Ashara in the past, the king knows. Whatever you just mentioned in the previous conversation, that's pretty new to the king overall.
Okay.
And so the king says, well, it sounds like what you have there is a very dangerous artifact. And the less you know about something, the more potential danger there is surrounding it. And it definitely seems like it is a worthwhile quest for you and your companions to get to the bottom of what it is. And the safest thing to do, if the Elonians want it, is to destroy it. Because, you are a
We
band
talked
of
about that?
adventurers with a, at best, this is a nation that is neutral and not going to engage with the Elonian Empire.
Yeah. I will, because Preserver Ashara before did tell us that it's like indestructible, basically, right?
Right. Preserver
So, yeah.
Ashara did try to use, essentially a black hole to try and crush it, and no dice.
Okay. So we can try to find a way to destroy it, but so far we've not had any luck. Do you
Well,
happen to know anybody that we could find, or any place we could go, or a scholar we could look for? I feel like out of anybody, a king would know somebody.
So
Especially
most
a king who's so well informed.
so most
Stop prodding the
of
bear.
most of what is known of soul magic practitioners is rumor. Um, they either die and tend to take most of their work with them, or they move about unknown and are incredibly difficult to track. The king does tell you that there is a rumor of a hermit that is a practitioner of soul magic, and the only reason that there are whispers about this person is because they seem to appear in many different places for a very long time in history. There's this general description of a raven-haired man who has snowblind eyes that that seems to pop up in the mythos of lots of different places having used magic to potentially intervene or solve a problem, and then tends to disappear or move on shortly after those events take place. But the accounts of lots of these different events in history seem to agree that, there is a raven-haired man with snowblind eyes, that it's such a unique characteristic of a person that it's either an incredible coincidence or it's someone using this incredibly dangerous magic to prolong their life far beyond anything that anyone else normally achieves in a normal lifespan. We're talking hundreds of years. But that the danger of this and the length of this person's life has given them a great deal of wisdom how to move around undetected and not be found. And generally this person shows up at in certain moments in history, but there isn't even really a name, just this description. Beyond that, the king isn't aware of anyone who might be able to have intricate insights into soul magic or what this artifact is.
Thank you. I appreciate the information. It will definitely be helpful.
I'd love to help you more, but no one who's ever gone searching for this person returns saying that they've found him. And many people perished, and nobody, many people don't come back, and it's unknown whether they found who they were looking for and perished, or just perished trying to find the person. The information goes out, and it doesn't come back in.
I can appreciate the warning, but part of me is confident because I feel like none of those people had a compass with a soul in it. And I'm wondering if this could be helpful to help find somebody like this man.
The king says it's difficult to know for sure, but it seems reasonable that might be a type of starting point. The king asks you, he says, could you recount how the compass behaved when you were in the forest?
Oh yeah, it was spinning wildly, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it landed. Did it ever stop while we were in the forest? Because I thought it did at one point.
towards the forest, right? Towards the center
It
of the
pointed,
magical
yeah,
influence.
it pointed towards the forest, but once we were in the forest, it like spun.
Mhm. So the king says that it's reasonable to perhaps maybe not to assume, but it's not outside the realm of possibility that the compass, when there is a specific goal or intention or type of magic or anomaly in the world, that if it's not pointing north, it may be pointing you in a direction to go.
That
So
makes
it
sense.
could be possible to find this hermit using it if you are within the compass's range, or if it is attuned in the proper way. There's not enough information to know precisely how that would work, but it certainly could.
Well, I'm definitely going to see. I think, at least. And then,
Want to invest the
I
commune?
don't. Well, because my thing
investigate the
is,
commune,
yeah, I
right?
want to ask about the commune because he seems to know so much. So I feel like he knows everything about the commune, and it's just like
At least
not.
whether or not he would be okay with us going in.
Yeah.
I feel like that's important.
Yeah, we wanted to look into the commune and see what was going on with that. It seemed rather interesting that it's taking up so much of the country already and so much of the city.
The commune is what people need it to be, and this is Sherwin speaking to you now. The commune is what people need it to be, which is a place of safety. And realistically, it is the kingdom of Denova that is responsible for that security, that they take advantage of. And the king kind of waves off Sherwin a little bit here and says their growth is not unchecked. However, it's a very complicated political situation. You can't tell people what to believe or what not to believe, and regardless of what actions we may take, something like that is pretty difficult to snuff out and to not have the public opinion change of the existing government change drastically. And so again, our position as isolationist and neutral in most conflicts generally keeps us in this position where there's not a lot that we could necessarily do with the commune. Now, that being said, as far as we know, most of the surface level things that you hear about the commune are above board. They are providing food and shelter to people, and people are in return very much working to improve the commune. And when the commune grows, they are paying rent and taxes on the buildings that they occupy, and that is important to the kingdom of Denova to stay financially afloat, because you have otherwise a bunch of refugees with no food, no water, no shelter, with their hands out, and a kingdom that can't necessarily feed all of them. And it's just this incredibly complex situation. And so as long as they are not overstepping any boundaries in trying it, or breaking any laws of the Kingdom of Denova. They're generally allowed to operate in the manner that they see fit.
Okay.
And the king says, if you are intent on investigating, that is up to you, but bear in mind that whatever actions you take with this kind of entity could very, very quickly turn public opinion against you.
Thank you for the warning.
Blair kind of nods to that.
Yeah. I think Cassandra too is gonna look over at Blair a little bit and be like, no wonder Blair is so anxious all the time. This man expects them to know everything.
Yeah, and Blair is doing their best to kind of keep, a very composed sort of look to themselves.
And King Roland, of course, would notice this and would look at Blair and would look at Levine and say something along the lines of, if you're intent on investigating this, it would be wise to shield the world from your identities, lest the blowback reach further than just your party.
Blair will also nod to
Understood.
So be incognito.
Levine's already been using a few aliases here and there anyway, so. Levine Nibbins,
Were you gonna say something, Cassandra? I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Because, Blair's just gonna kind of check to see if anyone else, if there wasn't more that Cassandra was gonna say, wanted to speak to the king.
No,
Levine
I
actually,
wanted to make sure everything was on the table as much as possible.
Yeah.
before we go, Levine does want to ask the king, my lord, can you tell me what you know of the man Trep of Armorica?
Trep.
He went there.
Oh, Trep. Trep is the best damn spy we have ever seen. He is... He is incredibly adept at playing the chess game. That's not to mention his physical prowess, which is impressive, I'm sure you know, and his ferocity is the thing that is whispered about on the front lines, that this is a man you do not cross, and that you do not want looking for you. He is an incredibly valuable asset to the Elonian Empire. He probably knows more than almost any other single person in the war effort about the state of the world and where things are going, due to having his tendrils in so many different nations and conflicts, and to be able to run behind the scenes and constantly be one step ahead or 5 steps ahead of everyone. He is one of the most dangerous people you will ever meet.
I think when Levine hears that, suddenly any anxiety she had is kind of just pushed out by a brewing anger that kind of just fills her with intensity, and she just listens quite closely to every word the king says at that point. Thank you.
And another reason that people fear Trep is he is a man who seemingly has no conscience. That every life-preserving instinct has been burned out of this man. That he truly is a frightening killing machine. He is the type of person who can take a life and not blink and move on and have that is just the next domino to fall for this man.
Yeah, Levine is just getting angrier and angrier, thinking about her family that she found that day as they were lay dying. And just she's like listening, but like she's like zoning out in her eyes. So clenched fist, you know, the Arthur meme.
Oh no. Was there anyone else that was looking to speak? Because Blair's just gonna kind of see.
Oh, Trep is a lot. Yeah, Levine's done with her stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
So Zinnia's hand's been in the air for a while, but probably no one's noticed it until now.
Oh,
Blair,
oh, yeah.
Blair will just kind of gesture with a hand, like the floor is yours.
Going to jail for child endangerment.
Oh Jesus.
It's fine. We're good.
You're not gonna tell my parents, are you? No. This man with the this man with the raven hair and the snowblind eyes shows up in various places and solves problems. What kind of things are happening before he shows up, or where he shows up? What kind of problems is he solving?
They're good questions, Zinnia.
Yeah, it sounds like something somebody smart would ask. Dang, something like 10 insight,
So,
not 6.
I thought this might help us find out where he's located right now, if we knew what kind of places he tends to show up in.
at times in history in which it seemed that there was an impossible situation, something that could not be solved within the laws of nature and man, this person seems to show up and create a solution to the problem. And that solution usually involves very powerful magic, or showing up with a very large force, or just this person would almost be called the pendulum. I think that is what people would whisper, because when this person shows up, the tide of whatever is happening tends to change, and it's not known. There's not a specific pattern for when this person shows up. It seems potentially to be self-serving, that this person, the pendulum, only shows up when they have a vested interest in the specific outcome. So it was potentially a little bit of a surprise that at no point in the Elonian Empire's expansion has this person been seen related to the conflict. But at times past, there was once a star falling from the sky towards the planet of Calibri, and everyone prayed to their gods for a solution to this problem, for a way out. Everyone joined hands and came together and held their families close and counted their final days when this man appeared and seemingly was able to change the course of this falling star and keep it from striking the planet and wiping out life as it was known. That is an example that seems to be well known through many cultures, and many different nations of the abilities and specific placement of this person. And that took place well over 500 years ago. As to his whereabouts now, no one can really say.
Where was the event that happened 500 years ago?
Everywhere. I mean, that...
Oh.
but where he specifically was seen, I guess...
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry, I'm making it up a little bit here as I go.
It's okay. I'm sorry.
No,
It's kind of what
I
we're
mean,
all
it's
doing most of the
good.
times, right?
This island right here. A tiny island.
I should look at this island. It was here. It was right here.
Could explain the weird ore in the Alonian Hell Ridge.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that
it's
would,
magic.
yeah, actually, yeah, if it was
Oh.
around there that it happened and like some big cataclysmic event
The
that he,
deep
and then like
lore.
his magic altered things. It's a smart
maybe
thing to
it's-
point
Maybe
out.
it's here in this puddle.
The part of the meteor shrunk down and then
It could be the force.
no larger than a
force of
chihuahua's
Yor.
head.
Let's
Could
say this person showed up in what was the burgeoning United States of Armorica. That's where they were seen during this event. Somewhere near, he was seen on the coast near the strait separating Armorica from the peninsula that holds Pemble. Are there any other questions that you all would have of me?
Oh no, I'm all done. Thank you.
I just want
Like-
to say, just for fun, that maybe Zinnia says like, "Oh, the lever," and like she has a different name for this character, but she's heard about him in her little magic city.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
would
a
make
lever
sense,
instead
yeah.
of a pendulum.
Yeah, some other physics thing.
The pulley.
I was thinking of the fulcrum. That sounds pretty cool.
The king says, "Alright, well, I've armed you with as much knowledge as I can give you. Other than the compass, I don't think that you have brought too much to my attention that we didn't already have. Know that we are watching, and though we are isolationist and neutral, does not mean that our agents are not around keeping an eye on things, that we don't know what is going on in the world. When we maintain our position, using knowledge as a weapon. I don't know how long that can keep peace, but for now, it is our weapon of choice. That is how De Nova functions."
Information.
If you all are done,
Most countries do.
yeah. If
Oh,
you
no,
all are
yeah.
done, we'll say that you folks leave the throne room. The doors close behind you. Well, it does sound like everybody's back, so we can retcon that information. Desdemona is known to be recovering in Alonia somewhere right now. In the
Okay, so
Alonian
she's-
capital.
She is far out of our reach at the moment. And Levine also is just kind of kicking herself, like, should I have killed her? That kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess We were told the compass might point to where we should go, so that would be another thing to look at. Or we can go to the commune, which seems like it's still up in the air. Levine wouldn't mind trying to get her hands dirty doing work there.
I think at the very least, going to the commune and getting an idea, because like we've been told that there is locations for this commune all over Calibri, because it's a religious order, or some type of religious order. So that to me means that like if we go there and we know what to expect, maybe at other communes even, like if it's a good place, then we know that that's a safe place we can stop in each place. Just look for a commune of radiance, and if it's not a safe place, we know to avoid them. Or maybe we can find out information that's pertinent to what we want to know, but I do think it wouldn't hurt to at least go there for like a little bit.
Yeah, I'm down to investigate. I think we should get it off the back of our minds. Yeah. Also, my alias will be Janeth Tier. No, Janeth Etor. Jan Etor for short.
Good old Jan Etor.
What, you think your job's harder than my job?
Janeth Etor. That's gonna be her alias.
Well, you folks having left the king's chambers, I will leave it up to you to discuss and figure out what you would like to do next.
Levine says, I think we should investigate the commune, or we can follow the compass. That makes sense. Just what direction is the compass pointing at right now?
Just north.
North. So that might be a nothing burger.
Yeah, it seems like it's just behaving like a regular compass now, so.
At the moment, yes, that is the way it appears.
What does everyone else think we should do?
So my initial thought was to magnetize something else and see if the needle points to it like a compass would, or if it just always points north like a magic compass would. But that's just because I'm a nerd in real life.
Okay.
Probably didn't notice.
You want to do that? You can certainly do that.
Why not?
We
I don't think it's a
magnets.
terrible idea. I was gonna say too, the other thing that I could do is hold it in my hand and like see if I ask it where to go, if it changes direction.
Well, I am happy to direct you however you folks want to approach this.
We can do both.
Yeah, I was gonna say I kind of want to do both. The magnet thing first, and if that doesn't do
I've got
anything,
magnets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Edgar, magnet this. You got weird pieces of metal all over you.
I'll bring up a magnet.
Okay. Let's see. I don't really think you need a roll for this. You hold up a magnet due north and start to rotate it around the compass, and you notice that it continues pointing north. It seems to be unaffected by magnetism, at least locally.
Do we know that regular compasses are? Like, this is a different world. This is not Earth, so...
Yes, a regular compass would be affected by a magnet.
Just making sure. It's magically pointing towards the north.
okay, I'll hold it in my hand
Mm-hmm.
and then ask out loud, do we go north? And like really try to like push that question like into the locket, like mentally.
You're asking it if you should go north.
Yeah, like do we follow north? Or because that's the thing is I'm wondering because like it seems like it's telling us to go north, or if that's not the case, then maybe it'll point us to a different direction. But I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's yes or no questions at this point. because it only vibrates to answer. So
I think it'd be easier to ask it if you could say, "Hey, point me to Pemble," and then see if it changes direction.
Oh, yeah, okay. I'll do that. Point me to Pemble.
And you notice that the needle begins to slowly change from north
so
to
smart, Edgar.
northwest.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And it vibrates gently in your hand upon asking it that, and then the needle changes.
Okay, so it seems like it can help us find the way towards something.
Point me to the pendulum.
Oh,
The compass vibrates twice, and the needle begins to slowly spin in a circle.
it doesn't know where it is.
So once means
be
yes,
everywhere.
twice means no. At least that's the general pattern I've found so far. Okay,
I'm
so
not sure if
it
Zinnia was
doesn't
trying to say
know.
something over his
Oh,
background
sorry, yeah.
noise. Okay, there's someone in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so from what I can tell, it will point us to a location. We know that for sure. Oh, I want to try something. And this would have to be an experiment that we all do, and it's going to be a waste of time to a point, but if we go to different areas of the city, and then I say, point me to Edgar, like, will it point me to a person? Or actually,
Yeah. That's right. He likes lining stuff up.
We can hear you, Penguin.
Hope they don't start sex or something.
Jason, be appropriate. For goodness sake.
I'm not
Or
wrong.
hopefully they do. We're not being shamed.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, mostly I want to know if it can point me to a specific person or if it can't even do that. So I'm wondering if like even asking is useless or if it's only location.
Ask it to point to me, and I'll walk around it.
Yeah,
Oh,
just
yeah.
start running circles.
Okay, yeah. Point to Zinnia.
We don't run circles, then we don't know if it's just going to be circling.
Oh yeah, because
does
it turns a
find you.
circle. That's a good point. That's a good point. It turns a circle.
But if Zinnia has to start doing rolls and then cartwheels,
Okay,
and then
here,
they
how about
stop,
this?
and then they
The arrow is pointing to north again, so someone stand behind me, and then I'll say point to you, and if it turns towards you, we'll know.
we'll do Zinnia. I think it seems appropriate.
I go for Zinnia.
Okay, so Zinnia stand behind me, and then I'll say point to Zinnia.
Okay. Give me a second here. The compass does not seem to react.
Okay.
It vibrates twice.
Okay.
Okay.
So it might just be to locations. Yeah, the static locations maybe.
Still helpful though, especially if we get lost.
Mm-hmm.
Like a real compass.
Hey, Cassandra.
Yeah, but this is more helpful in my opinion. What's up?
Could you ask the compass of it the direction of its origin?
Oh. Yeah. Where did you come from?
Where did you go? Where did you
I
go?
was thinking the same
God.
thing. I was thinking the same thing. Sorry.
The compass vibrates once and points roughly west.
Hmm.
Could be Alonia.
Well, the thing
Could be
is, you
Amorica.
don't know if you're like I don't know if we're asking the compass or if we're asking the person inside.
Or because like, is it Tristan? Because like that was kind of pointed out. Is it Tristan, or part of me is wondering, like, is this actually like a really ancient artifact that they managed to put a soul in? Because like, is that raven-haired man able to like connect with these kinds of artifacts just via the fact that he's apparently a walking miracle? Like,
Well, what about asking it, like, I don't know, we don't know what the extent of its range of insight is, but maybe we could say, like, where's the next problem that can't be solved or something. I don't know.
oh yeah, where's the next problem that needs to be solved or can't be solved, right?
Yeah.
Where's the next problem that can't be solved?
Above the table, the GM is telling you that this is not a railroading device.
No, that's fair.
No, but we're hoping for it.
Here we go.
I was just trying to ask smart questions. My bad.
It starts spinning around. It's like, well, I guess this is the problem that can't be solved.
It's gonna turn into the golden compass and then give me like a frowny face. I don't know.
Ask the compass where the GM's house is so we can beat him up.
Mother of God. It vibrates twice. Spins
No.
in circles.
Dang.
I'm glad that I've established that one vibration means yes and two vibrations means no.
Allegedly.
I mean, it vibrates once and then answers me, and then vibrates twice and then fails to answer. So it's a good
I'm
logic,
just being
I
a
think.
naysayer.
I know you are.
You're more than welcome to ask it whatever question you would like.
Yeah. Are you Tristan? 'Cause I don't think I ever actually asked that. I just asked, are you there?
It vibrates once, and then it vibrates twice.
But yes
So
and
it's
no.
both.
So is there more than one soul in the compass?
The compass vibrates once.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a philosopher's stone.
It's a Horcrux.
Can
It's a
it
Pokemon.
That's
count?
actually what I wrote in my notes before, too.
Cassandra, could it count? Like, how many souls are in you?
Oh, could you vibrate the number of souls that are inside of you?
Sorry.
The compass
The thing is-
the compass vibrates once, and it points. Let me look. Yep, it points northeast, and then it vibrates once, and it points southeast.
What did it say, Cassandra?
Once northeast.
So yeah, it vibrated once and then said northeast, and then vibrated twice and then said southeast. Is that like is that meant to indicate like the number of? Because if you
Oh, it's
put
like
the
a
points
clock.
on the compass,
Yeah, I was trying to say so we're like
Uh,
between
northeast,
2 to 6 people,
south,
or 2 to
1, 2,
26.
4.
No,
At least
wait,
4 to
25.
5 people,
like 25-ish people.
4.5 people. Why are you guys putting that many when it's not that many points? I don't
I don't know.
understand.
You pointed 2.
2 and
We're
5.
looking at a clock
So,
here.
Oh, that's fair though too. If you're gesturing it as if it's like a clock instead, that's a good point.
yeah.
Because I was thinking of more the how many points are on the compass. Like, if you take it from north to southeast. But no, that's a good point because it's in between, so that would actually have to be 25. Are there 25 of you in here?
The compass vibrates once.
Jesus
Ooh.
Christ.
We All right. A high five, Levine.
High five.
I mean,
Levine doesn't even know what's happening.
I'm sorry for all of you stuck in here, though. We'll figure this one out. We'll get you out.
Levine's going for another high five. She likes being included.
Right.
High five, Levine again.
High five, everybody.
Heck yeah.
Fist bumps all around, all that. No,
Yeah.
that's fucking crazy.
Can
Sorry.
you just make sure that the compass knows that we're celebrating that we understood and not that there are 25 people in here?
Yes. Just so you know, we're happy that we finally understood what was going on and not that there's 25 of you in there.
We were terribly.
Edgar wanted to make sure.
Yeah, I'm very sad about that.
Sandra, is
What's
there
up?
like?
I feel like it
dial?
can hear all of us, by the way.
Is there like a dial or like a mechanism to like, I don't know, adjust the compass? Like, I don't know. Like, I know clocks have it,
Yeah,
but
I mean, I know sometimes compasses do have stuff where you can like help reset it to a point, but they don't. Normally, if they have a thing, it's like because it has a cover and then it's popping the cover open.
oh, okay. I just
Yeah,
wasn't sure if
just
there was
see.
any additional features.
So
Oh,
this,
yeah.
Levine's
this-
gonna ask the compass if it wants a hat. Do you want a hat?
the compass doesn't respond.
Okay.
The compass looks like it looks like a traditional compass, but it has no buttons. It is very smooth and round. There do not appear to be any buttons or any clasps or screws or any type of adjustment on it. It is very round and very much mostly the face of the compass.
Yeah, it's like one of those old school compasses that don't have covers, right?
It does have some sort of transparent protective cover, but yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a plate with a glass on it.
Sort of like
I-
that,
shared it.
yeah.
I shared an image that might be close to it.
Yeah.
Hmm. And there's no like symbols or anything like arty on the side.
Nothing.
On
If
the
it were
face?
laying on the ground, you might mistake it for a normal compass.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I have one more question for Cassandra. Of the 25 souls in there, is anyone familiar or was a part of the Commune of Radiance?
That's a good point. Do you know anything about the Commune of Radiance?
Hang on.
Okay. You gotta do some. You did put 25 souls in here.
Oh, sorry.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's valid.
It vibrates
25
once.
dice.
It vibrates once. Okay.
Huh?
Is it a safe place to be?
It vibrates twice.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Cassandra's just like, I knew it! I
That was
knew
just
it!
one long
I
vibration,
knew
right?
it!
Good people, right?
Blair does not look happy about that.
Levine was trusting that commune. She was gonna work there. She was actually starting to believe it could be happy. You know, she's upset.
Alright.
Grumpy.
Alright, we're gonna go to the commune first then, I think. Before we try to head out. Oh, hold on. Do any of you know who the pendulum... Like, do you know about the pendulum? The man, the pendulum?
Are you asking the compass?
Yes.
Alright. Phrase your exact question one more time.
Okay. Do you know about the man, the pendulum?
It vibrates once.
Okay. So the souls know about the commune.
Who was the pendulum guy again? He was the
He's the miracle worker, the raven-haired, snowblind man.
Raven. Yeah, that's it. So it's probably like an entropist, right? Was that mentioned at all?
That was
Just
not
the name.
mentioned specifically.
Oh, he's definitely an entropist.
Well, no, yeah, it wasn't mentioned specifically, but it was just like an assumption that I had at least.
Okay,
That
that's
was-
fair. Okay, that's probably what I was trying to remember or something.
So I think
but-
entropists have a whole thing. That...
Well, it's time
Okay,
magic and the
so-
pendulum, you know.
25 souls. Knows the commune is in a safe place. Knows about the pendulum. Does anybody else have other questions we can keep asking these people? Otherwise, we can
I mean,
go find
we
some
got more-
supplies and some disguises.
yeah, we got more out of it than I was kind of expecting. Like, it seems like
I have one question for the compass. Is there a soul in here that would lead us astray or lie?
Are any of you liars?
I mean, if you're really
That's
what if the
true.
liar said it?
I
Oh,
feel like we're
no.
gonna get back one vibration and then two.
I don't know.
Because it's gonna be like two different souls being like, no, you know you lie.
yeah, no, you.
No, the commune is safe. Stop telling them that.
So,
Sorry.
I was just kidding.
you get one vibration, then you get two vibrations, then you get two vibrations, then you get one vibration, and the
Okay.
needle is spinning all over the place.
You just
So,
you're making them fight now, guys. I hope you're proud of yourselves.
We're sorry.
They're trapped
Well-
in their all together. You're making them upset.
well, we just got an answer about the commune not being safe, and you know, it's it's not practical, in my opinion, for me to trust an object to be correct 100% as royalty. I don't know. I feel like King
Yeah, you-
Roland said, we don't have all the information here, and this is a
Be
good time
wary
to
of
figure it
things with
out.
their own brains.
Yeah.
I will say though, we did get other information from like people at the bars and stuff who were like, that place is bullshit. Although some of them were more because they were bitter about it than others, but
Yeah, that guy was so drunk, and I was so drunk, and I was probably.
there was a
drunker.
lady too though that like did not want to talk to me at all, but was like super into talking to Zinnia. Was like I just remember like walking away and like
To be
Zinnia
fair, you
going
blew
over,
her
and
off.
then that lady
You were
just
kind of
wrote-
rude to her.
She
I'm
wanted
just
money
saying.
from me, and I wasn't
mean-
gonna give her shit. That's not my point. My point is that she was very rude and talked shit about me as I was leaving, which is why I remember.
Above the table, a reminder that I believe Zinnia casted friends on this person.
Oh, that's why
Oh,
they
okay.
were. That's why they were nice to Zinnia.
Nice.
I remember now.
I used unexpected ally. I
That's
think.
right.
Yeah, there you go.
It still cuts deep for Cassandra, though. You know, it's just,
I mean, in game.
sure there's magic involved.
Yeah,
but she
in
was
game
still
definitely.
rude.
She's just like this friggin' person wouldn't talk to me, but told everything to a child. This is some bullshit. But anyways, but I do remember from the bar that we got a few people. Some people who were like, no, it's a great place, super great. But other people who were like, no, it's not a good place.
I think we just have
So-
to investigate to figure out anything else. Like, we could keep asking, the compass,
Right.
the king, but I
I
think
think
the only
just
information we're gonna
going-
get is on the grounds.
The king did say that we should disguise ourselves, so that would be the first thing I would maybe do is
Oh,
go
yeah.
someplace where we can like find, or even like around the castle, find some like outfits. That might work. I don't know.
I'm good for just about any-ish time, but it's getting late, so.
Oh yeah, it is 12:22.
But yeah, I am Janeth Etor, so I already got that squared away. I don't know how we hide my hulking guns, but
Okay. You ask Larice, and some plain clothes are provided for you. A couple of them, in particular, your overcoverings are more shawl-like, so that you can kind of obscure your face a little bit more if you want to.
I think Blair should definitely wear one of those, and same with Levine.
Blair is just gonna be like, I'm gonna go to my room and find something. I'll be
should we
back
dye
up."
our hair maybe? Like, should Levine dye her hair pink or something?
No, it should be fine. Just cover it with a hood.
Dang.
I mean, you can dye your hair pink
Fair.
if you want
Don't
to.
draw
I'm not gonna
attention
say
to
no.
yourself. Dyes hair pink.
Right?
You know what? It's fair. Black. Let's do black like my soul.
No.
I will. But that is usually less of a prominent hair color. Yes.
I mean, Blair, should we go both get our hair dyed black and we can go as sisters?
Well, Blair's kind of taboo snapping their fingers, and they're like, "We could do that. I actually had another idea, maybe."
That's
Perfect.
fair. I'll go by myself.
Oh,
So what's the idea?
Our disguises and then to the commune. I'm just gonna change into the plain clothes that we were given. I mean, you could always ask for a wig too. You don't have to like dye your hair, Levine.
I mean, I feel like a
It'll
wig.
take
If
you
a wig
long.
falls off, it's gonna feel more
And
obvious.
don't
I
dye
think I'd be
your
better
hair,
off
just put a hood
going.
on.
That's fair. I mean, I'll put on a hood. You know, I'm scared a little bit. Sounds
That
good.
takes
I
you
don't know.
long to dye your hair.
I mean, I guess we have the power of magic, though. We can expedite that, but
You all don your disguises. Levine, yours is big enough to cover your armor if you would like, and make you, just appear kind of a larger, more hulking figure, but still mostly covered and not really. To most casual onlookers, probably wouldn't know that you were in full armor underneath it and everything. You
Okay.
make your way to the commune quarter, and there are many people walking about. Many of them seem to have a purpose. Excuse me. They seem to be going about a specific business or task assigned to them. But many of them are active in traveling in and out of the quarter as well as within the commune's quarter. What are you looking for, and who do you want to talk to?
I think
I
for
think-
Cassandra, the first thing she'll want to do is figure out who's in charge.
Okay. So a passerby notices the lot of you kind of traveling as a group in kind of similar clothing, and says, "Are you new refugees to the city? Do you seek the aid of the commune?"
Yes, from Armorica.
Okay, then you probably want to go get set up at the community center, and they'll be able to get you squared away and get you registered and explain to you what the commune is and what it does, and get some food in your bellies.
Do like food.
Thank you. I imagine Levine kind of looks like an ogre, just with the covering her. Like, she's normally like 5'10", I would think, out of armor, but with armor she's already taller, and then it's like, so that's how I kind of imagine it. But yeah, I guess we go head over to the
Yeah, to the
what was
Okay. You arrive at the community
Community
center,
center.
and there are a surprising number of refugees there waiting in line for food and clothing and so on. And quite a few people in these white plainish kind of white gray robes, and these seem to be followers of the Commune of Radiance, who seem to kind of be in charge and be handing out things and kind of directing the refugees where to go. As you step up and wait your turn, one of the members of the Commune says, "Wow, what can I get for you folks? How far have you traveled to get here? What can the commune do for you?"
water. Levine hasn't actually drank water, and she's been sweating like since morning, so she's actually very parched.
And the person in the uniform kind of does a two-fingered point at someone and kind of motions someone over who has a pitcher of water and a glass and fills it up for you and hands it to you.
Yeah, thank you, and she starts drinking.
travelers from America, or the former United States of America. Um, we've come a long way and we'd like to take some rest here. We don't plan to stay long, but we could use a respite nonetheless.
All are welcome in the commune. We can certainly, you can stay the night here if you would like. This is a temporary shelter where most new refugees come until such a time as shelter can be procured. You ask and you shall receive food and drink as much as you need. And welcome. It sounds like you've been on a very, very far journey, but rest assured, now you are home.
Cassandra
Can
is
can
going to
anybody
say
show us a?
gracious
Oh,
thank
sorry.
you,
Go on. Yeah.
and you can go too. That's
Yeah, I
fine.
was gonna say, can anybody show us around a little bit so we know what we might expect of the place?
Oh yeah, what are the
Um,
rules?
hmm.
Is there anything we'll be expected to do while we're here?
Currently nothing. Once you're set up with a shelter, you'll be expected to do a little bit of work based on your talents. If any of you are skilled with the plow, you could till the land and grow crops, or if any of you are fishers by trade, we have many ships that go out of the bay and bring home fish. You can also assist with running the markets. If you are able to work, we all pitch in and help each other in order to provide what we have here, and every new set of hands helps.
I offer my skills in cooking,
No,
and I know most.
no, no, no.
Seem to be pretty good with the plow.
She says, "Light bless you, daughter."
No, I'm very good with a knife.
Maybe
Um,
you could chop some things. I would not trust you any further than that.
She says, "Light bless you." As when you have taken your fill, you can work right here in the community center, helping prepare food.
Thank you.
Okay.
As for someone showing you around a little bit, I think one of our troubadours might be due back soon, who can show you around a little bit. Do you have any other questions?
I'm good.
Do you happen to know who's in charge here? Like, we haven't heard very much about how the leadership here works. We were very curious. We've never heard of a place like this, so.
Well, we very much believe that everyone in the commune is equal in the eyes of the light. However, the one who speaks for us is Faith Speaker Margulis. He is the one who translates the will of the light and brings it before us.
We heard that there's different communes like this all over Calabria. Does each place have its own faith speaker?
They do, but none so revered, and no commune has grown quite the size of that of Denova. And that's because we turn no one away, and many people seek shelter here. Margulis has done a magnificent job of recognizing the faithful and making sure that this commune is welcoming to anyone seeking aid, and making sure that everybody is able to participate and make it work.
Sounds like you're a pretty impressive guy.
Is there a school here?
Oh, of course there's a school here. They primarily teach the light's teachings. which is making sure that everyone is taken care of and respected equally, and follows in the teachings of the light, and making sure that we all give unto others as we would like to receive.
Is it alright if I just take a look around, familiarize myself with the place before I get a proper introduction?
Certainly.
Okay. Levine is going to kind of possibly start like wandering around the buildings, trying to like kind of take peeks inside any windows and stuff. Just kind of, she's going to start skimming kind of that way, because obviously stuff out in the open will probably be less, fishy. They'll probably try to hide stuff inside.
Okay.
Indoors, if
Are
you're
you
going
by
to.
yourself?
Yeah, unless someone else wants to come with me, but I figure that's gonna be what I'm doing.
All right. What are other folks doing?
I feel like most of us would have opted to wander around. Maybe not in a big group, but definitely like looking around or maybe talking to different people, but
Okay.
Yeah, I think mostly blending in. So probably just going straight to get some food because there's going to be people there. And
Okay.
then, yeah.
But yeah, and that's the thing though, is as we're moving around to do stuff, we can, like, Levine is doing kind of like look and be curious.
Okay.
Blair, with their disguise, appears more male than female currently, just FYI.
Okay.
So they, they were listening in, and the person that's been talking, Blair would probably ask, is there a place where you tend to those that are not in good health?
Oh, good question.
Certainly.
Good question.
We tend to try and heal as much as possible through our faith, but we do have a hospital facility as well, where the very, very sick are taken.
If I could, I'd like to volunteer there.
Okay.
So, yeah, Blair's probably gonna go that way.
Alright, so it sounds like Blair's kind of headed towards the hospital, maybe somebody's headed more towards the school. People are kind of spreading out and kind of looking around,
Yep.
Is that right?
Yeah, if Zinnia
Yeah,
wants to
yeah.
check out the school, I think Cassandra would be willing to go with, because that is if we were looking for places to volunteer here while we're blending in, that is where Cassandra would volunteer, I feel like.
And Levine is just basically scouring the premises, just kind of.
Okay, so you're more at the community center type kind of thing right now. What about Edgar?
Cafeteria, was it? Or?
Well, yeah, I was right immediately. I was gonna go just to the cafeteria, but if I'm volunteering for work, probably maintaining tools and stuff like that.
Okay.
And
Let's say,
people who broke their tools.
for the purposes of this, a couple of you all get a bite to eat and drink and are pretty well taken care of and introduced to this area. Blair is shown where the hospital is. Cassandra and Zinnia are shown to the school. Edgar is shown to a smithing workshop type kind of thing, and Levine is mostly hanging out in the community center, I think. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, because if anything, I could also help with the cooking. I mean, I know people are scared of Levine's cooking, but trust me, she's pretty good. Pretty
No.
okay.
Okay. Let's have everybody make an individual insight and insight check. Double insight.
Oh. Well, Cassandra and I are hopefully going to be okay.
Double sixes. But I haven't actually rolled yet,
Yo!
but like that would be great. But yeah.
Oh, I got a 10 though, so I feel pretty
Double
okay about
insight?
that.
Let's see.
Okay, hang on. I need to write some numbers down.
It could have been way
writing
worse
numbers
for
down.
me. Not as good as I could expect.
Alright, so Cassandra got double sixes.
No, I was joking about that's what I'm rolling. I did
Oh.
not get double sixes. I would love that if
Oh,
I did.
well, okay, then.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I was just making a
Levine
joke.
rolled what?
10.
10? Okay,
Not
what did
too
everybody
shabby.
else roll?
I have a
Zinnia
12.
rolled 12.
Oh, lol.
Yeah. I rolled a 5.
I
got my
I
day.
got a 3.
Good thing you went to Zinnia. Oh god.
Oh god, I can't believe I actually managed to beat Edgar for once at this.
Okay,
Yeah, he
Never happens.
really lowballed that one.
alright, what about Zinnia?
I rolled a 12.
A 12?
Mhm.
A 10 and a 2.
Okay, okay. Nobody rolled doubles or anything?
No.
Let's see. Edgar, you are shown to a workshop. You don't really. Everybody kind of sticks to their own work. It seems very kind of rudimentary. Lots of people are working on repairs for the most part and upkeep and that kind of thing. There doesn't really seem to be anything amiss or out of the ordinary there. Levine, you are, while you are cooking, you attempt to overhear any type of gossip, and mostly you hear the same type of stories over and over again, that refugees are coming in hungry and the commune is going to take care of their needs, and people seem just genuinely relieved to have some sort of shelter and some sort of food and just to be taken care of and not to be fending for themselves for a change. Let's see.
Makes sense.
Um, Blair, you are led to a hospital where you are essentially kind of observing. It's the kind of thing where you kind of walk around with a nurse and visit with various patients and so on. And there's you are visiting this one particular patient who is an elderly man who doesn't really seem that responsive. The nurse is talking to him, but he's not really replying. He's kind of got like a 1,000-yard stare type kind of thing going on. And another nurse walks in and asks the nurse that you're working with for help really quick. And she says, could you just stay here with him for just a minute? I'll be right back. And so you are alone with this particular person for a moment. And now that the nurse is gone, he kind of turns his attention to you and looks at you kind of expectantly.
Is there like any medicine or anything out in the open on his like bed or near him, or like what do I see?
So it's kind of rudimentary. There's not really like IV bags or anything like that. There are like maybe some healing salves almost, and it seems like this person is turned over in their bed sometimes to, prevent bed sores and so on. It looks like this person might have been here for a little while, but there's not really a clear indication of what's going on with them, just that they're being cared for here at the moment.
I I guess I would just see if this person, like, I see that they have a 1,000-yard stare, so
Mhm.
I would first see if they're cognizant, like if they can speak, and I'd just say, is there something I can help you with?
Says, "Who are you? You're
Uh,
not one of them."
you could call me Billy. I'm
Billy.
sorry. I didn't mean to laugh so hard, but yes, I'm Billy. I just
What a
arrived.
silly name.
What
It,
are you doing in this place, Billy?
I'm traveling with some companions of mine. We were not really prepared for the world, and we came here seeking help and information on how, you know, to go about our business. Is there something ailing you?
Yes, my time is coming. There's nothing anyone can do anymore. But if you came seeking aid, you should find somewhere else.
W- Is there something wrong? Billy whispers. Like,
I know. When I arrived here, the faith speaker looked at me and gave me his blessings. When he thought I was asleep, he told his companion that my soul wouldn't do, that I should stay here. But I've seen him take others, sometimes from this place. I don't know where they go, but I never see them again.
I appreciate that. I will be sure to seek aid somewhere else. What's your name?
They call me Bartholomew, but
And
that's not important. I don't have much time left. You need to go. And at this time, the other nurse walks back in, and you notice her walk in, and then you look back at Bartholomew, and he's got the stare again, and he's not responsive anymore.
oh, are you still there? And like, you know, Blair's kind of just trying to see if they're gonna respond, and then
The
looks at
nurse the nurse says, "Oh, this gentleman, he hasn't spoken to anyone in at least 10 days.
Oh,
Isn't that right, Bartholomew?" And he just continues to stare straight ahead. And she beckons you onward to talk to continue on your rounds. Cassandra and Zinnia, you go to the school, and Cassandra, you notice that there are children of various ages there. The teachers seem extremely kind, but they are definitely focusing their teachings more on religion than traditional secular education. Zinnia, however, at some point is approached by another child, and that child says, "Hey there, have you seen my mommy or my daddy?"
Oh, to me?
What does your mommy
To
look like?
Zinnia, not
Oh, okay,
Cassandra.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sorry, what did Zinnia say? I missed it.
Zinnia said, what does your mommy look like?
Oh, she's this really pretty blonde lady. Oh, she and Daddy haven't been home for a day or two. I'm wondering where they went. I've been staying with my friend.
Why don't you come with me and whatever Cassandra's name is right now? We can help you look for your mom.
Oh, I don't want to get in trouble with the teachers, okay? And she gives you a description of her mother and father. Her mother's name is Elena, and the father's name is Tiberius. And she gives you descriptions of them and goes back to class. And that's the information that you folks get from your roles.
Okay.
You know, I really should have
I
had
laughed out
Janet
loud when you
Etor
said,
do
you notice
cleaning.
there are kids at different ages. Like,
Yeah,
you
well,
notice the most
I did
basic
roll a
thing about
5,
this
so I
scene.
figured I was only gonna get surface.
Mhm.
Like,
Sorry, I guess I could have done a little bit better there with Cassandra's,
no,
but
no.
I mean, it
No.
makes sense.
It made
though.
sense to me. It did, because I rolled a 5.
Yeah.
You were like, you
I
saw
wasn't
there's
laughing at you, I was
children.
laughing at Cassandra.
No,
Mhm.
yeah, because I noticed nothing.
Okay.
think it's funny.
What are you folks doing? The day is coming kind of more to a close, and there's people seem to be mostly going back to their homes in the commune or headed to the community center.
Can Janet help clean up? Do janitor duty?
Sure.
Yeah, she's gonna help do clean up.
You
I
do
should have done
that.
it earlier if I was thinking.
I think Cassandra would probably go back with Zinnia to the, or maybe even ask around a little bit about Elena and Tiberius as we're going to the community center. If you want, like try to
Yeah.
stop in at some places. 'Cause I'm assuming it sounds like this place has like places you can like go and get food from, but also like communal like cafeteria areas. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to figure this out. Is it like there's like little shops where you can go and get whatever you need, or is it like you go to the eating areas and then they just have food for you?
It's mostly big eating areas, like mess halls type kind of things.
And the markets are more meant for like physical goods then? Like
Yeah.
blankets and those kinds of things.
Yeah, the markets are um more places where you can get something repaired or trade goods specifically for other goods within the commune.
Okay. So it's a bartering market. Good to know. Alright, yeah, I think I would go back to maybe actually I'd ask Zinnia if Zinnia wants to go to the market. And then we can ask a few people at that run the different stalls if they knew who Elena and Tiberius are. We're looking for them on behalf of a little girl looking for her parents.
Okay.
I was also thinking we could meet her after school and see if she can help us, like,
Oh, try to find the
And that might
child
know her
again
parents.
that was missing. Yeah.
Okay, so are you taking the little girl with you or no?
I mean, we'll wait till after school to pick her up. Because she doesn't want to skip school.
Okay. So after school lets out, you catch up with the little girl again, and she's leaving with her friend, whom you presume she's going home with.
She ever
Okay.
tell us her name? I can't remember.
She did not. Her name is Astrid.
You go, Zinnia, because she did not approach me.
First I'll ask Aster, do you want to pet Zither? And Zither will just walk
Oh,
up
I
to her.
love kitties. So pretty. And she begins petting Zither.
And when she's all nice and warmed up, I'll ask her. We were going to start trying to find people who know your parents, and we thought maybe you could help us find some people that might know where they went.
'Cause I don't think I should go with strangers, but thank you for looking for my mom and dad.
Sorry, Zinnia's like gonna pull a Pennywise, like, I'm Zinnia, you're Astrid there. Now we're not strangers anymore.
Roll
That reference might only be in the book, I don't know.
roll a double willpower check. Your difficulty class is going to be 13 for this.
Alright, I left my dice in the other room.
Oops.
Alright, 1 second.
Wait, Zinnia's got the willpower in the group anyways.
I don't know if 13 is an appropriate
Nice.
difficulty class for getting a child to abandon a parental figure or what, but we'll see.
Yeah,
I got 14.
fair.
14?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I can go for a little bit. I'll have to be home in the next hour or so though. I need to be there on time for dinner. So she goes with you.
Well, she's with a friend, right? So
The friend
Zinnia
has
would invite
the friend has
to go.
gone home to communicate that Astrid is out looking for her parents and will be home soon.
Okay.
All right. What's anybody else
Now I can
doing?
take-
Anyone else doing
Okay.
anything specific?
For Levine, she's probably going to be kind of asking a little bit while she's helping with cleanup, where do they get all this food and stuff? And maybe is there any issues with people who might get greedy? Kind of that stuff. Just kind of make chat like that while
Are
kinda
there any
taking care of
issues
stuff.
with people that do what?
Get greedy, try to take more than they should. They kind of try to take advantage of the commune itself.
You find that most of the food is grown or caught by members of the commune, and that most people are provided for and stick mostly to their needs, and that gluttony is discouraged by the light's teachings, but some people, struggle with it, and it does happen, but it is not a big enough of a deal that anybody specifically tries to stop it. That it's mostly verbal, hey, maybe you should eat a little bit less type kind of thing, or make sure that there's enough for everyone, that kind of passive guilting type kind of thing.
Okay, and Levine is like, well, it's good to know, it doesn't seem to get out of hand, but inside she's like, you're hiding something, I'm gonna... But yeah, I guess that's about
It's
all
really a
Levine can
fat
try to
camp,
do
isn't
there.
it?
I missed
Okay.
that. Zinnia, what was that?
Sorry, I was just thinking, it sounds like this is really just a fat camp. It's an elaborate fat camp ruse. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was...
It's okay.
No, I was gonna say, it does kind of feel like that, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like Levine probably can't get much more out of that, so that's all I can really think.
So I've got Cassandra and Zinnia are probably out looking around for Elena and Tiberius. Blair or Edgar, are you folks working on anything in particular?
I was following the nurse, so like, am I still within the hospital range?
Her shift is pretty much up, and you are, you're free to stay at the hospital or pretty much go your own way at this point.
Okay. In that case, I'm gonna try to probably reconvene with somebody. Like, from my group.
Okay. I'm gonna say you probably head back to the community center where Levine is.
Okay.
Oh, hey there, Billy. How's it going?
Sorry. It's going. Doing
Should we try to go catch up with the other people who are totally not named Cassandra, Edgar, and Zinnia?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Blair's just gonna nod and turn.
I don't actually say it like that, but yeah, no, I definitely go with Blair. We're gonna try to catch up with them because it's like want to make sure they're not getting ganked or something in a corner.
Yeah.
I guess we'll go probably to Edgar first at the shop, tool shop. Is that what it say?
Blair, when you get back and reconvene with Levine, one of the folks who's working in the community center in the white robes lets you know that a shelter has become available for you and your companions.
That's great. Where's the shelter at?
Says it's about 6 or 7 blocks away from the community center where you are at now, and they describe the location and the address to you and everything, and they say there's the family across the hall in that kind of building will be able to let you in whenever you get there. Just knock on their door and they'll welcome you.
All right, excellent. Thank you. And Billy's just gonna follow Levine.
And then Billy and Jan go to find Edgar. Gotta catch up, see if he caught anything.
Edgar's just still got his head down working away. He kind of forgot why he was there. He just started getting into the work, and that's why he didn't gather any information.
Okay.
You, as a sidebar, you finish your project as a part of that.
I was sneaking in my own work during.
Yeah.
those work
All right,
hours.
so you 3 reconvene.
Hey Edgar, what information did you get?
What? I didn't get the opportunity to talk to many people. It's just, a lot of work to do. So sorry about that.
Levine sighs and says, same. Levine actually rolled well, she just wasn't in a spot to do anything with it.
And Blair's just gonna kind of, how do I put this? Lightly, take both of their hands and give it a squeeze. Like, I can't talk about this out loud right now.
Okay, Levine nods. We should go find Cass and Zin.
Okay. During this time, Cassandra and Zinnia, you are out kind of canvassing, looking for Elena and Tiberius. Let's see. Let's have you both make an insight and willpower check.
Insight and willpower.
Yep.
Dorinda got a 12. That's gonna be. She's using one of her sister's name as her alias, even though no one knows who she is.
Okay.
He's like, everyone else is using fake names. I'm going to.
Wait, what's Zinnia's fake name? Just so I know. I want to make sure we get this down.
I said
Wanna
Dorinda. I went with.
Dorinda? Okay.
I got a 10.
10. Okay. So, you folks don't really get any additional information about Astrid's parents, but you get a couple of looks like some folks might know more than they're letting on. But it's kind of tense to talk about a child's missing parents in front of that child, and so they just kind of, usually leave it at, the light will bring them on the path back home type kind of thing. And to stay vigilant and to shine brightly is what they say. But you don't have any luck finding any specific details about Elena and Tiberius while asking around. You do escort Astrid back to the domicile that she's staying in, and they thank you for bringing her home and everything. Yeah.
All right. Zinnia is going to say it was lovely meeting you, Astrid.
Hopefully we can find some more information later.
Yeah. And give her a quick hug, and Zinnia will wrap around her leg while they're hugging. They do a team hug.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I think I said Zinnia. I obviously didn't say there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What are folks doing at this point?
I think we're all planning on reconvening at that community center, it sounds like.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think for us, we'd probably check the school. If we don't find Cassandra or Zinnia there, we'd probably go back to the community center. So,
Okay. You folks reconvene at the community center. You're all together. Where do you go from here?
probably need someplace private to talk. I guess at her home, right?
Yeah, Alaria will say that there was a shelter prepared for them and say, I was given instructions like 6 or 7 blocks from the community hall if we want to go there. But
Okay.
if not, just let me know. I mean, I know we're only staying here temporarily, finger quote. So,
It is a better idea than the community center for a discussion, that's for sure.
yeah. And Blair is gonna kind of subtly pat on a bag they have on their shoulder that they were carrying along, that they have some means of communicating.
Okay. So do you folks head to the shelter then? That has been prepared for you?
Do we trust that place?
Yeah, I was thinking we
probably-
should go to a park or something.
I was thinking we'd probably at least want to check it for anything magical, mystical, or trap-oriented. But if we did go there, try to give it a quick look down.
Okay. So you arrive.
But we could go to a park too. Would be a thing. Yeah.
All right.
I think it's good to go to that shelter, it's fine.
Okay.
Nary?
Yeah, we can go to the shelter.
I mean, unless you guys are really opposed. Like, truly, I don't think it's unsafe, per se.
No, I don't have a problem. I just if people are if you think it's safe,
Well-
then it's safe.
I feel like if it
I-
not safe, that would tell us more about what's going on here than otherwise.
That
Blair
too, yeah.
doesn't
If we
feel
go there and it's a
it's
trap.
safe. Yeah, Blair doesn't feel it's safe, but they brought a notebook, so they're gonna write what they saw and heard.
Okay.
So
Okay.
just so you guys know, that's my intention above the table.
I think that's fine. I was gonna say, we can figure out a way to have the conversation as quietly as possible, regardless.
Yeah,
Write
So,
down
like, paper-
words instead.
Writing it down makes total sense.
and you can just burn it or whatever.
Burn it with my dark magic.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So-
So where specifically are you, and what are you doing?
We're
We're
going
going to the.
Oh, go ahead.
We're
Sorry.
going from the community center to the shelter, and we're gonna check it for any traps, I guess, quick, and then go
Well-
from there.
Blair has to knock on the neighbor's door first to probably
Oh,
get
yeah, that's
access.
right.
So Blair's just gonna kind of, relay that to the group and say, "Hey, I need to knock here. The neighbors said the neighbors would let us in, so let's give a pleasant greeting, I guess." And yeah, Blair's gonna knock.
Okay.
Ow.
So you knock, and a middle-aged woman answers the door. Says, "Oh, you must be the new family that's moving in across the hall. Welcome, welcome. Light shine on you." And she walks over and unlocks the door for you and hands you the key. She says, "Is there anything else you need or need to know?"
Blair's gonna look to anybody else, see if they need anything, but
Mm-hmm.
Billy here doesn't need anything.
Levine shakes her head.
I don't believe we need anything, miss.
Says, "Okay. Well, get a good night's rest. Elena and Tiberius would be delighted to know that someone is going to stay in their home." And she turns around and closes the door behind her.
Alright, and Blair's gonna take the key to the door and open it to let everybody in.
And I'm gonna look for anything that might be suspicious as we go in. Just look for anything. Could be like a scrying eye or.
Is anybody joining you in this?
Oh,
Yeah,
going
I'm-
into the
I'm gonna try to look around and see if there's like,
anything out of place
yeah.
for sure. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too.
Then let's have everybody make a group check.
Okay.
And kind of tell me what you are looking for, and I'll give you some dice to roll. So first of all, who's gonna lead this check?
Is there a predominant role? Like, do we know what
I feel
type
like
of role
it'll
it
be
is?
insight.
It depends what
at
you're
the
looking
very
for.
least.
But yes,
Okay.
probably insight will be one of them, almost no matter
Yeah.
what.
Maybe willpower also.
Might if
Who's
we want
good-
to move something out of the way, because like, oh, that cabinet is suspicious. Let's nudge it and
I
see
mean,
what it is.
Zinnia is magical. Zinnia could try to find anything.
Are
right?
there?
Like Zinnia would be the best at searching anything magical, anyways.
So
I'm
is this
thinking.
place like pre-decorated with like mirrors and portraits?
It is minimally decorated.
Okay.
It's I guess what you might call an efficiency. There's the
Okay.
bare minimum of what you need, along with cots and clothes and so on.
Okay.
But that's pretty much it. The essentials.
Oh yeah. I feel like Levine's gonna be looking for anything like. I guess it's mostly traps or anything magical are the main things Levine's looking for, which probably aren't going to be a thing, but
I think Cassandra would be more interested in trying to see if there is somehow any listening devices or
Okay.
some way for someone to spy into the room. Because that's why I was asking about the portraits and the mirrors. Because,
Mhm.
like, I feel like these people, they seem to observe everybody, like, all the time. And I wouldn't be surprised if they had some way to do it in the rooms.
Okay.
So Malcreos noticed something, but Edgar doesn't know about it. Now, I don't know if it's just something that people missed when it was mentioned.
What's up?
But I mean, they said this belonged to Helena and Tiberius.
no, I did notice that too. The two parents
that?
that were missing.
Oh,
Those are
this room
names that
used
were-
to?
Those
Oh.
names were mentioned to some of you guys before.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
Zinnia.
totally forgot about
yeah.
that.
Anyways,
I'm sorry. I didn't, for some reason, I did not even pick up on that.
no,
Yeah, I think I'd actually look around for evidence of them then, if anything got left behind by them.
Okay.
Thank you, Malcreos.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is there blood? But
I get
mean,
it. It's 1 in the morning, so like
I truly did not
brain.
register that in the slightest.
brains are getting fuzz.
feel like Zinnia would still be the best as kind of like the resident rogue of things, kind of.
Okay. So we'll let Zinnia lead the roll, and everybody else. Actually, yeah, let's not
I
do
can
a
lead too, but
let's not do a group check. Everybody
okay.
can kind of tell me what they're looking for and make their own individual checks for this.
Okay. I
So
figure mine is-
Cassandra's looking for listening or spying devices.
Yeah, and then maybe some, if there's any, while I'm digging around for that kind of stuff, if there is any traces of like Elena or Tiberius at the same time, like mostly like, because if I'm digging and like looking through stuff, maybe I'll find like a piece of paper that like slipped behind something. I don't know.
I think you gotta look for one or the other.
Then I will look for well, actually, that's the thing, because like, what is everybody else planning on looking for then?
I mean, similar stuff, but more like trap-oriented stuff. But
Okay, I think that
I could look for traps and listening devices as a whole, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll look for stuff about Elena and Tiberius to see if there's anything that like got left behind.
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyone else looking around for anything in particular?
Yeah,
I'm gonna see if there's any like weird parts where the walls are thinner or hollow.
Okay.
Zinnia, or God, did it again. Like I said, I can look around, poking little nooks and crannies, places where it's hard for us to reach, to see if he notices anything.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Blair was just gonna check for blood or any like signs of struggle or anything. Like physical alterations to the room. Like maybe something was freshly painted or floorboard was cracked. I don't know.
Seems like a
Okay.
good idea.
And I think we just need Edgar. What Edgar's doing?
Yeah, Edgar's gonna take a look at like the door and the locks and make sure that everything works fine and can't just be jimmied very easily. And just trying to make sure that they can't just easily access like from windows and stuff like that. So looking at the existing entry points.
Okay.
To...
All right. Let's see. Okay. So Blair is looking for what was it again? Sorry.
Like blood or any physical signs of struggle in the room, like a bent floorboard or fresh paint hiding.
All right.
You know.
Your
some
roll
sort
is insight plus insight. Cassandra, what are you looking for?
Stuff that maybe was left behind by Elena and like if they came in and cleaned up after them, maybe they left something behind. Just evidence of them being there. Papers, books.
All right. Insight plus dexterity. Edgar is checking mechanisms and so on. Let's do insight plus dexterity for you as well. Levine is looking for what again?
Traps and seeing devices, things that are kind of could be hidden into weird corners of that.
Okay. Insight and insight. And Zinnia is looking for things in the wall and so on, or hidden compartments or out of reach areas. Let's do insight and insight for Zinnia as well. All right, let me know what your rolls are then.
I got 14.
Okay.
I got a 7, which is pretty good for me.
Okay.
I got that on one of my
Yeah.
dice.
I had a
Zinnia rolled a
12.
16.
Okay. Anyone else?
Did you need me to
It's-
repeat?
Yeah.
I got a 14.
12. Sorry.
12 and a 14. Nobody rolled doubles or anything.
No.
No.
All right. Levine rolled a 7, looking for what was it? I'm so sorry.
Traps, hearing things, stuff hidden in like corners and underneath any kind of like painting or
Yeah. You find nothing of the sort. It seems like a relatively normal room.
yeah, it's gonna be the case.
Yeah. Blair, you rolled what, and what were you looking for?
A 12, signs of struggle, blood, etc.
A 12, signs of struggle or blood or anything. You do not see any blood anywhere in the room. You do see a pretty long scuff mark leading out of the entrance to this area on the floor. Cassandra, what did you roll?
14. And to look
14.
for stuff about Elena and Tiberius.
Okay. You look extensively through most of the area, and you see that there is a bookshelf, and it is filled with a kind of a haphazard array of different books, and most of them have dust on them, but there's one book in particular that does not have dust. And on a whim, noticing that there's no dust, you pluck the book that has no dust, and in it you find a note. Let's see. Edgar, what did you roll?
14.
14. You find that the windows are pretty secure. There doesn't seem to be anything out of the ordinary to them. You do see on the locking mechanism for the door that there are some scrape and scratch marks from someone trying to force entry into the door using tools. Let's see. And Zinnia rolled a 16, looking for what?
Weird stuff in the wall, either spots where it's thinner and someone could, be eavesdropping, or like a trap door where someone could enter the room.
Okay. You look around and you find that there is there's like a vent in the wall that's for air circulation, but you see pretty clearly that someone has been able to view into that dwelling from that spot, and to be able to look in from there. So with that, Cassandra, you find a note that says, it says, the gist of the note is, there's something going on. Margulis is looking for the most faithful Radiant followers to go and help him with a special assignment to achieve a Radiant transcendence. And he is he's taking people by boat. He doesn't they don't know where, but it's definitely, there are people who are disappearing from the commune and they are going somewhere. And the faith speaker had recently asked them if about their faith and whether or not, and seemed to be assessing whether or not they were devout enough for this Radiant transcendence. And while Tiberius vehemently volunteered and was 100% willing, Elena's concerns for Astrid's well-being caused her resolve to falter. And so this note says, if anything happens to us, get Astrid away, get her out of the commune, and flee, and don't ever look back. And that's where I think we should leave it for the night.